Good day to you. It is Wednesday, 6 a.m. The sun will rise on a new day, and we welcome you in. Welcome to CTV Morning Live.
It was actually really nice yesterday. I went for a stroll in those temperatures. It is perfect, like biking or running weather right now.
Yeah, we had the scooters out yesterday on a little walk. So.
Oh!
Always an adventurous time.
So, any scraped knees?
You know, a few tumbles, but thankfully nothing that caused for some tears. So we were lucky.
There you go.
No tears is always a good thing, and we'll get to the weather in just a moment. But there is some controversy brewing in Gananoque, where the mayor wants to clamp down, literally, on out-of-province drivers who are skipping out on parking tickets. That will be in our news stories today, but we're going to take a peek, and maybe we have any scraped knees potential for today as we continue to scooters and runs and bikes outside.
It's another beautiful day, similar to yesterday. We're going to see that sun shining, and like you mentioned, ideal temperatures to really get outside and enjoy the beautiful sunshine. 24 later on this afternoon, so we could still wear a t-shirt later on today. Need a jacket this morning. I'll tell you how long this sunshine is going to last, but right now, our news headlines.
We've learned that one of the Canadians killed in the deadly Lisbon funicular crash last week is a man from Ottawa. Aziz Bernharef was on vacation with his wife when it happened. His heartbroken family tells CTV News they feel the Canadian government should have done more. This is the last photo the couple took together. Ben Haref is a Canadian citizen originally from Morocco. His wife, Hind Igernan, is a permanent resident here. She says it took days to learn her husband was among the dead. She spoke with CTV News from a hospital in Lisbon, not wanting to appear on camera because of the extent of her injuries. Here's what she said about the crash and what she wants people to know about her husband.
Very, very fast, like going in a highway, and everyone was screaming. It was very scary. It crashed. I didn't see him. I called him. I was calling Aziz, and he didn't answer. He's one of the sweetest human being ever. He was kind to everyone. He was generous, hardworking.
Hind Igernan remains in hospital. Once cleared to fly, she will go to Morocco, where her husband will be buried.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is urging municipalities to get rid of photo radar cameras altogether, saying that they are nothing but a tax grab. Ford made the comments after 16 cameras in Toronto were cut down and damaged overnight. In that city, more than 800 speed cameras have been vandalized so far this year. These latest incidents have sparked a debate about the cameras themselves. For years, drivers across the province have pushed back against the program, and now the Premier is as well. He says he will take matters into his own hands if cities don't remove the cameras.
They should take out those cameras, all of them. If you want to slow down traffic at school, you put the big, huge signs, big flashing lights, crossing area, people will slow down. This is nothing but a tax grab.
His comments come as work is underway to install 24 new cameras on Ottawa roads by the end of this year. There are currently 60 photo radar cameras set up across the city. Ottawa's Election Compliance Committee will not launch legal proceedings against Councillor Sean Menard after he underreported his 2022 campaign expenses. Someone filed a complaint against the Capital Ward councillor 2 years ago, saying he did not account for all the money he spent on campaign signs. Eventually, a judge ordered a compliance audit, which found he underreported the value of old election signs by $310, though he still did not exceed the expense limits. Yesterday, the city committee decided not to pursue any further legal proceedings.
Parents in Bell's Corner say student safety is taking a back seat as some children in their neighborhood as young as 8 are having to walk nearly half an hour to school and cross through a busy intersection to get there. An Ottawa mom says her son lost his bus seat because he lives just under the 1.6-kilometer cutoff for transportation. Now, the grade 4 students' route to school means a 27-minute walk, including crossing Moody Drive, a 4-lane commuter road. Parents are calling it unsafe, but the Ottawa Student Transportation Authority says it follows provincial guidelines for school bus eligibility, and a review determined the route is safe for students in grade 4 and up, with with the support of traffic lights.
There's a lot of traffic on the streets in the morning, and then they want us to cross at Moody and Tyrrell, which is a 4-lane road. He'd be okay with it if I could walk him, but that's not practical with our life, and doing it by himself wouldn't happen. He's very nervous to begin with. Responsible, I think I could trust him, but I can't trust everyone else driving on the road.
In a statement, MPP Tyler Watt says he's asked OSTA for a reassessment, saying no child should be expected to cross major roads like Moody Drive, calling it unsafe and unreasonable, especially in a city that experiences extreme weather.
Gananoque's Mayor John Beddoes is looking to literally clamp down on out-of-province drivers who are issued parking tickets in that community. He's proposing a plan to allow officers to put clamps on the tires of those cars when issuing a parking ticket in a bid to get them to pay before leaving town. The mayor argues out-of-province drivers don't face the same enforcement measures as those with Ontario plates once they return home. Beddoes used the Strong Mayors Act to propose the idea, but some town councillors have concerns.
Is being strong-handed on what's probably less than $2,000 worth of unpaid parking tickets an issue? It probably isn't.
I wouldn't keep us away, but sure puts a bad taste in your mouth.
This parking proposal was just one idea from a 27-point mayoral directive released at the end of August. Beddoes is calling it supplemental guidance for municipal staff when drafting the 2026 and 2027 budgets. Council and city staff are expected to go over the proposals at their next meeting that takes place on September 16th.
The Ottawa Public Library is looking to build, renovate, or relocate 18 branches across the city over the next 20 years. It's to address different branch demands and future growth needs. Among the branches on the list are Greenboro, Sunnyside on Bank Street, Barhaven, and Carlingwood. You can find a full list of affected branches and city recommendations on our website, ctvottawa.ca.
It took 3 days and multiple crews, but a humpback whale tangled up in fishing gear off the coast of northern Vancouver Island is finally free.
The rescue began last Thursday when Tutu, the 5-year-old whale, was spotted caught in more than 150 meters of prawning gear.
Fishery officers managed to find the whale and attach a satellite tracking device to it. That allowed crews to follow Tutu for the next 2 days and slowly cut away the gear. By Saturday, rescuers reported that the whale was free.
Amazing. I love watching these rescues when they have a happy ending, and the lengths that the crew go to make sure that the whale is free and safe. And I mean, they do get so tangled up in that gear.
Yeah,
So.
and there's nothing they can do.
No.
They actually need human intervention.
Yeah.
These gorgeous, giant, majestic animals and creatures, they need us to come in there and untangle them. It's really
they would be hopeless without it. Like they're just going to keep swimming on, tangled in that, or debris from the ocean. So it is so great to see us kind of help out with a happy ending to that story.
And usually they seem apprehensive, and then they realize what we're doing. Like, we're here to help you.
Yeah.
And they let you into their space. It's so magical.
We could probably talk about this for a long time. Yeah.
Absolutely. We got to talk about your forecast, though, because an absolutely gorgeous day yesterday. Guess what? We're going to have another one today.
Woo! Thank you.
So for whatever
We'll
reason, if you didn't get outside yesterday, don't worry. Today is going to be equally as beautiful. Still a little bit of fog in the morning hours. We saw that yesterday, seeing that again today. Still cool as well. Sunny and warm into the afternoon. And then more sunshine on the way for Thursday as well. So we have a couple of sunny days in the forecast for us. Slightly warmer this morning than we were yesterday morning at this hour, but we know that sometimes we drop a little bit in the morning before we warm back up in the 8 o'clock hour. So we are sitting at 8 degrees, single digits, mainly across the region with the exception of Kingston, sitting at 17 this hour. So pretty warm out in Kingston to start off the day. 4 currently in Maniwaki. In our skies this morning, nice and clear for the most part, but some of those lower lying areas are dealing with a little bit of fog. So keep that in mind on your drive in. Some areas you might deal with some little fog patches this morning. Into our forecast model, really not going to see any rain until we head into the weekend. The only thing we'll see is a few clouds. We'll start to see an increase of cloud coverage later on this evening, which will continue into the overnight. So tomorrow, a little bit cloudier than today, but still some sunshine into your Thursday forecast. 24 is your high for today, and absolutely absolutely gorgeous day ahead. Temps are above seasonal into the afternoon, so almost a carbon copy of what we saw yesterday, dealing with these incredibly light wind speeds as well, gusting around 5 kilometers an hour. So winds hardly a factor into your day ahead. 23 for tomorrow as we head into Friday. Still more sunshine on the way. 22 is a high. It will then kind of shift as we head into the weekend. Temperatures a little bit below the norm Saturday and through Sunday. A little cloudier into your weekend forecast as well. Sunday, we could see a few scattered showers, similar on Monday with a high of 20. On your roads this morning, here's a live look at your time-saver traffic. And right now, there are no major issues on the highways. Everything is moving well for now. Just keep in mind, we could see some fog patches. So make sure you are aware of that on your drive-in. Will.
Well, customers with one of Canada's major banks recently received credit card offers, but weeks after being approved, the cards were canceled without notice. CTV's Pat Foran has the details.
I was really happy when I saw it. They pre-approved me at $5,000 at first, which was really good.
Taylor Potter of Barrie says he was pleasantly surprised to get approved for a credit card for $5,000. It arrived in the mail from Scotiabank, but weeks later, his mother Victoria says the card quit working.
He goes down to the bank, and on his way down there, he went to go get gas. And his credit card was declined.
When Potter called the bank, he was told he never should have been issued the card in the first place.
They tried to tell me it was a glitch in their system and that they don't know what's going on.
I received on my online banking an offer from Scotiabank for a pre-approval of a line of credit.
Amanda Woodward of Newmarket had a line of credit approved for $7,500. She was buying clothes for her children to go back to school when her card was declined.
They told me that the card was given to me in error and that it should have never been offered or approved or activated.
When CTV News reached out to Scotiabank, a spokesperson said, "We can confirm some Scotiabank clients recently received an offer for a pre-approved ScotiaLine personal line of credit or credit card they were not eligible for. We understand the frustration this may have caused and sincerely apologize to those who received this offer in error." Potter was told the money charged to his card will now be treated like a higher interest cash advance.
They're also changing it from an interest rate to a cash advance, which I said, so how does that work out?
Woodward feels it's unfair to issue customers credit cards and then snatch them away.
Pretty much the customer service agent was just telling me too bad, so sad. Like it was given to hundreds of people in error and there's nothing we're going to do about it.
Scotiabank says the closure of the account should not impact the credit rating of affected bank customers. It says it's reaching out to clients to provide clarification as to what happened. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Should the City of Ottawa renew its e-scooter program next year? That's the question in our social room. Let us know your thoughts on e-scooters. Ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Sun has not yet risen, but it's going to be a gorgeous day. 6:13. You're watching CTV Morning Live. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. The Ottawa Red Blacks We Are Family game is coming up, and CTV Morning Live wants you to be there in action to enjoy the game at TV Place. We have your chance to win a pair of tickets to see your Ottawa Red Blacks take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The game is on September 20th. It's going to be a day you don't want to miss. How do you enter? Head over to ctvottawa.ca now for your chance to win those pair of tickets, and good luck to all.
Welcome back to CTV Morning Live. Here's what you need to know right now. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is urging municipalities to get rid of photo radar cameras altogether, saying they're nothing but a tax grab.
In your forecast this morning, we're seeing lots of sunshine on the way into your afternoon. Still dealing with a bit of fog out there right now. 24 is our daytime high. We'll feel closer to 26 with that humidex. On your roads this morning, here's a live look at your time-saver traffic. No issues to report on the roads right now. The highways are moving well.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is urging municipalities to get rid of photo radar cameras altogether, saying they're nothing but a tax grab. Ford made the comments after 16 cameras in Toronto were cut down and damaged overnight. In that city, more than 800 speed cameras have been vandalized so far this year. Why don't we check in right now with Bill Carroll from the Morning Rush on News Talk 580 CFRA. Speed cameras, Bill, what are you thinking?
Well, I've always been against them, long before people started to cut them down. I just don't think they do the job they need to do, which is make the roads safer overall. The stat you're going to hear pushed around by people who like these cameras, members of city councils, is that if you look at an individual speed camera, a lot of people get caught early on, and then the number starts to go down. Well, yeah, when people figure out where they are, they go slower, or they have a little thing called Waze or other apps that identify where these cameras are. But we all see it around us. Cars go faster before they hit the community safety zones. They slow down, they go faster again afterwards. So I think there's a place for them in some limited areas where there really is a very specific zone that you want to slow down. But are we ticketing people after hours around schools when there aren't kids around? I mean, you got to ask yourself, how low are they going with this? What's the margin of error here? The Premier says people are getting tickets for 5 kilometers over, 10 kilometers over. I haven't met anyone who got one for less than 11 kilometers over, which maybe is how they've set them up here in Ottawa. They don't want to tell us that, of course, but they do tell you the camera is there, and that's the problem, right? You know the camera's there. You know they only take a photograph in one direction. I've always believed if you're going to have cameras, take a photo of the driver, match the driver with their driver's license, and give them demerit points and heavy fines. That's how you get unsafe drivers off the road. We had a member of City Council on our show earlier this week, Rosie, who was saying, you know, we got a huge problem with speeding in our community. It's stunt driving. Cars are driving very fast. They're racing each other. So that suggests to me maybe the Premier is right when he says overall safety has not been improved. We are too focused on getting as many of these cameras in as many places as we can because we're hungry for the revenue. We're getting hungrier for it because the revenue stream drops. It's also, and we need to talk about this, jamming up our court systems. If we want our justice of the peace spending more time considering keeping people locked up and not letting them out on bail, if we want to deal with violent crime, we can't have their hands tied in court all day with people. Go to the courthouse. I've been to the provincial court. Go there and watch the people lined up by the hundreds fighting these tickets, and there's no defense. Unless your car was stolen, they're going to say, do you own that car? There's a photo of the license plate. Well, I wasn't driving it that day. Doesn't matter who's driving it that day. You own it, you got to pay the fine. It's a waste of time and money on that end. And it also gives permission for people who can afford to drive as fast as they want. What's a small ticket if you can afford a Ferrari? Are you really going to slow down? Because there's no other consequence than a fine. We need to catch drivers, and we need to get them off the road. That's how you deal with community safety.
Yeah, demerit points. That is the key, Bill. I'm with you on that. Have a great show, Bill.
You too.
You can listen to The Morning Rush with Bill Carroll on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
And coming up in our Ask the Expert segment, personal injury lawyer Brenda Hollingsworth will take your questions about injuries and e-scooters.
Yeah, so today in the social room, we are asking you, should the city renew the e-scooter program for next year? Let us know your thoughts this morning, ottawa.morning at ctv.ca. The e-scooters. You guys taking those for a spin at all?
I have actually never been on one, believe it or not. Rosie, what about you?
Yeah, I have. You know, we ask this question every year. Like, are we going to bring them back? Should we? Because there's people on one camp, they're like, I hate them. They get in the way. People ride them on the sidewalks, but then there's other people who go, I mean, it's a great way to get around, great form of transportation. Listen, I think that they cleaned up this system because when they first came out, people were riding scooters and then just going, choom, just dash them on the sidewalk anywhere, just made a mess of the scooters. And so you'd have to like climb over a bank of scooters. Now they're they're better. They're placed properly, I think, for the most part. It's a great way to get around, but you still see people like zooming by where they shouldn't, like they're on some sidewalks. I get the inclination because I've ridden them, and there's nothing to protect you if you're on the actual street. You're like, wow, if this car hits me, I'm done. Done. There's nothing on the side. I got a little helmet. So you kind of naturally want to scoot over a bit. But then you've got elderly folks on the sidewalk, kids, and what if somebody just all of a sudden goes like this and you're...
Right.
It can be messy. But we ask this question every year. I think that scooters are a great way. We keep continuing to press about the rules and make sure that everybody's following the rules. I love to see them. I love to see people scooting around in the city.
I think as long as they're safe, you know, and I don't know what the statistics are in terms of safety with the scooters in our city, but as long as everybody's staying safe, you know, for pedestrians, for drivers, and for the person on the e-scooter, I think it's a great thing. And I do see people, you know, with a backpack of groceries, it's able to get from point A to point B. They're more environmentally friendly than, you know, having to take something like a taxi cab or an Uber ride. So I do like the option of having the scooters, and I do see them out quite a bit. They don't bother me, but sometimes when I'm driving, I do get a little nervous when I see one dashing by me and I'm like, oh my goodness, okay, there's a scooter, but I'm very conscious about it. Then I'm watching where that scooter is going to make sure that, you know, if they're not following the rules of the road, at least I know where they are so that nothing bad happens.
Yeah, and a lot of controversy too is not just the city ones, but it's the privately owned ones that go a lot faster, and then the rules and regulations people aren't aware of, drivers aren't aware of, the people driving them aren't aware of. And I know that's something that the city's been working on over the last couple of years, is just hammering out those details. Where am I supposed to go? What lane in? How fast am I supposed to go in? So I think it's a great idea. Just need to maybe keep tinkering with it a little bit.
Yeah, that is the question in our social room this morning. We want to know your thoughts on e-scooters. Should they be allowed next summer? What do you think? Ottawa.morning@ctv.ca.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining the whole squad today on CTV Morning Live. It's been a good week so far. We have a very fun show planned for you today.
And we're going to take a look right now at your wake-up weather.
That's right. And another beautiful day, similar to what we saw yesterday. Still a little cool to start off your mornings, though. We are sitting in those single digits. A bit of fog out there as well. Details on how hot it will get later on this afternoon. First, our news headlines.
We've learned that one of the Canadians killed in the deadly Lisbon funicular crash last week is a man from Ottawa. Aziz Ben Haref was on vacation with his wife when it happened. His heartbroken family tells CTV News they feel the Canadian government should have done more. This is the last photo the couple took together. Ben Haref is a Canadian citizen originally from Morocco. His wife, Hind Igernan, is a permanent resident here. She says it took days to learn her husband was among the dead. She spoke with CTV News from a hospital in Lisbon, not wanting to appear on camera because of the extent of her injuries. Here's what she said about the crash and what she wants people to know about her husband.
Very, very fast, like going in a highway. And everyone was screaming. It was very scary. It crashed. I didn't see him. I called him. I was calling Aziz, and he didn't answer. He's one of the sweetest human being ever. He was kind to everyone. He was generous, hardworking.
Hind Igernan remains in hospital. Once cleared, she will fly and she'll go to Morocco where her husband will be buried.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is urging municipalities to get rid of photo radar cameras altogether, saying they are nothing but a tax grab. Ford made the comments after 16 cameras in Toronto were cut down and damaged overnight. In that city, more than 800 speed cameras have been vandalized so far this year. These latest incidents have sparked a debate about the cameras themselves. For years, drivers across the province have pushed back against the program, and now the Premier is as well. And he says he will take matters into his own hands if cities don't remove them.
They should take out those cameras, all of them. If you want to slow down traffic at school, you put the big, huge signs, big flashing lights, crossing area, people will slow down. This is nothing but a tax grab.
His comments come as work is underway to install 24 new cameras on Ottawa roads by the end of this year. There are currently 60 photo radar cameras set up across the city.
The United Nations Security Council will meet today to talk about Israel's strike against Hamas inside Qatar. A measure of calm returned to Doha this morning, a day after the attack. Hamas says 5 of its members were killed, but its top leadership survived. The strike has drawn condemnation from the international community and Canada. Qatar had been hosting indirect talks working toward a plan for a ceasefire. Those talks have now been put on hold.
The current talks, I don't think there is something valid right now, while after we're seeing such an attack.
Israel justified the strike by saying it targeted Hamas leaders behind the October 7th attack. Qatar's calls it a violation of international law. This as U.S. President Donald Trump distanced himself from Israel's actions.
Ottawa's Election Compliance Committee will not launch legal proceedings against Councillor Sean Menard after he underreported his 2022 campaign expenses. Someone filed a complaint against the Capital Ward councillor 2 years ago, saying he did not account for all the money that he spent on campaign signs. Eventually, a judge ordered a compliance audit, which found he underreported the value of old election signs by $310, though he still did not exceed the expense limits. Yesterday, the city committee decided not to pursue any further legal proceedings.
Parents in Bell's Corners say student safety is taking a back seat as some children in their neighborhood, as young as 8 years old, are having to walk nearly half an hour to school and cross through a busy intersection to get there. An Ottawa mom says her son lost his bus seat because he lives just under the 1.6-kilometer cutoff for transportation. Now the grade 4 student's route to school means a 27-minute walk, including crossing Moody Drive, a 4-lane commuter road. Parents are calling it unsafe, but the Ottawa Student Transportation Authority says it follows provincial guidelines for school bus eligibility, and a review determined the route is safe for students in grade 4 and up with the support of traffic lights.
There's a lot of traffic on the streets in the morning, and then they want us to cross at Moody and Tyrrell, which is a 4-lane road. He'd be okay with it if I could walk him, but that's not practical with our life, and doing it by himself wouldn't happen. He's very nervous to begin with. Responsible, I think I could trust him, but I can't trust everyone else driving on the road.
In a statement, MPP Tyler Watt says he's asked OSTA for a reassessment, saying no child should be expected to cross major roads like Moody Drive, calling it unsafe and unreasonable, especially in a city that experiences extreme weather.
Gananoque's Mayor John Beddoes is looking to literally clamp down on out-of-province drivers who are issued parking tickets in the community. He's proposing a plan to allow officers to put clamps on the tires of those cars when issuing a parking ticket in a bid to get them to pay before leaving town. The mayor argues out-of-province drivers don't face the same enforcement measures as those with Ontario plates once they return home. Beddoes used the Strong Mayors Act to propose the idea, but some councillors have concerns.
Is being strong-handed on what's probably less than $2,000 worth of unpaid parking tickets an issue? It probably isn't.
I wouldn't keep us away, but sure puts a bad taste in your mouth.
This parking proposal was just one idea from a 27-point mayoral directive released at the end of August. Beddoes is calling it supplemental guidance for municipal staff when drafting the 2026 and 2027 budgets. Council and city staff are expected to go over the proposals at their next meeting, which takes place on September 16th.
The Ottawa Public Library is looking to build, renovate, or relocate 18 branches across the city over the next 20 years. It's to address different branch demands and future growth needs. Among the branches on the list are Greenboro, Sunnyside on Bank Street, Barhaven, and Carlingwood. You can find a full list of affected branches and city recommendations on our website, ctvottawa.ca.
While our region just wrapped up hosting a hot air balloon festival in Gatineau, an international competition has been taking off in France.
All right, here's the lowdown. 24 teams competed in the world's oldest aviation challenge with the goal of covering the most distance without any intermediate landings.
The Swiss team took off from France on Friday and landed in Romania Monday, covering 1,350 58.29 kilometers in 67 hours.
Wow.
That is so cool.
What a trip.
Imagine being in one of those. Like, that would just be something that maybe is a once-in-a-lifetime kind of opportunity set up. Look, everyone just having fun. You got the whole family.
Look at that. Oh,
Whoa!
This is cool.
There they go.
A perfect view of what that looks like.
Melissa, I imagine all of those participating are like, okay, what's the weather gonna be like? I'm traveling in a balloon. I need to know.
Especially day and night, right?
I mean,
like,
right?
Our daytime temperatures are drastically different from our nighttime temperatures. You would need like your parka almost if you're going to be that high up in the air, and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You gotta prepare for everything at that point.
Yeah, sunscreen and probably
I know,
a
right? Kind of like here. In the morning, you need a jacket.
Yes.
In the afternoon, you're good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be wild. And if you loved yesterday, you're going to love today.
Good.
I think I'm very excited for this entire week's forecast.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
nice kind of crispy, cool mornings and then beautiful afternoons with some sunshine. Can't get better this time of year.
Pre-fall is gorgeous.
Yes,
Yeah,
your
nice.
pre-fall love.
Pre-fall, yes, pre-fall. It's not quite fall yet, but it's not quite summer. It's kind of the in-between, so I like to call it pre-fall. We are still dealing with a little bit of that fog out there in the lower lying areas this morning. That should dissipate by about 8:30 or so. It is still cool to start your days off, but then this afternoon, warm and sunny, and we have more of that sunshine on the way for tomorrow. So hopefully out of this week, you'll be able to get out at least 1 or 2 days because it's been absolutely gorgeous. We're still sitting at 8 degrees, so slightly warmer than yesterday, but it's still a cool start to your day. You will still need a light jacket heading outdoors. 8 as well in Kemptville, 6 in Brockville, 17 in Kingston this hour. So very, very warm out in Kingston, but pretty much throughout the region, it is quite cool and into the single digits. Still dealing with that light fog out there this morning. Into the afternoon, mix of sun and cloud throughout most of the day today, and then we will start to see an increase of cloudiness later on tonight. So around this evening, that's when we could start to see more cloud coverage. That will continue overnight. So tomorrow, a little bit cloudier than today, a little less sunshine, but we will still see some sunny breaks in the forecast as we head into Thursday. On your drive in this morning, if you are heading out on your morning commute, just keep in mind we could see those fog patches. So drive with caution on your roads this morning. As for the night home, on the ride home, no major issues. We will see a mix of sun and cloud, so nothing that will slow you down too much in terms of what we're seeing in our forecast. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Pretty gorgeous until we head to the end of the work week. 24 for today, 23 for tomorrow, so above seasonal temps over the next few days. Mainly sunny skies to end the work week with a high of 22. Overnight lows still in the single digits, but they will be in the double digits as we head into the weekend, even though we're going to deal with cooler daytime highs into the weekend. A little bit cloudier for Sunday. Sunday, we are expecting a few scattered showers.
Weather is brought to you by Manotick Place Retirement Community, a community you can call home.
And here's a look at your time saver traffic. We aren't seeing any issues on the 417 this morning. Already seeing some very heavy volume, though, on the 174 approaching Cumberland Ferry. So you might want to take Old Montreal Road if you can, if you are heading downtown from Cumberland and Rockland this morning.
There used to be a time when a relationship ran its course. A face-to-face conversation was the only acceptable way to part ways.
But there's been a shift, and if you ask younger people, it's not something to get too hung up on.
All right, here it is. Here's CTV's Andrew Johnson.
Canadians, both young and old, can be guilty of it, spending a lot of time with their head buried in their phone.
Conversations are now lost because people are doing this instead.
But a new online poll of 1,000 people is defining a difference in what those growing up with this technology and those adopting it later in life think is appropriate. Take ending a relationship. If we know this is the wrong way...
Berger broke up with me on a Post-it.
On a Post-it?
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I can't. Don't hate me.
It may be somewhat concerning 29% of Canadians aged 18 to 34, so Gen Z and millennials, prefer to break up with someone over the phone, a text, email, or on an app, compared to just 14% of people aged 55 plus.
Those were the two biggest surprises of the survey, just how much the younger generation, people aged 18 to 34, are turning to online tools for everything, for breaking up with people, for quitting a job.
When it comes to making phone calls, another divide. 58% of the younger crowd report having to phone someone they don't know makes them anxious. Just 35% of the eldest cohort in the survey feels the same way.
Does that make you anxious to phone someone you don't know?
Yeah, I literally avoid doing that.
I got no problem making a phone call, especially if I'm trying to get something done.
How about ordering food? 59% of 18 to 34s use an app, so do 51% of those aged 35 to 54. But for those born in 1970 or earlier, only 32%, with the majority still loyal to a good old-fashioned phone call or going in person.
There's that element of discussing something with another human being. The over 55 wants to have a detailed discussion about the topics of their pizza.
One expert calls it the great oxymoron of our time.
Despite the fact that this technology is remarkably able to connect us, to bring us together, at the same time, it is also disconnecting us. It's isolating us.
And leaving us walking around like this. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
Let's not break up over text message, please.
No.
True story, it happened to me.
Okay, come on now.
Let's go.
Spill.
Yeah.
Back in the day, in my 20s, yes, when I was working here and I was dating this guy, it was pretty serious. It was like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months we were together. And my one cardinal rule in my life with my friends and family is never text me bad news during the show. So please wait until I'm off air, because this is a live TV show, and if I get bad news, it's very hard to separate from being on the show. Sure. So my one cardinal rule with my friends and family, including this guy, was like, never text me bad news on the show. Please wait till 9 a.m. and then you can text me the bad news. So he decides it was appropriate to send me a message at 7 a.m. being like, basically like, long message of like, he can't do this anymore.
Like the Post-it note on Sex and the City.
He broke up with me basically while I was doing a live TV show. And I just remember at the time screenshotting it, texting it to my co-host, being like, this just happened to me. If I'm not at my best today, please forgive me. And they had my back the whole time, which was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like, what the heck?
It's so rude, too, because number one, you're doing it over text, which you shouldn't do. And then number two, you're doing it when you specifically ask, like, if there is any sort of news, you just
this is not a normal job where, like, you know, your face says it all. And I remember being so distracted that day. And, like, just after the show, I made it through. And then I just broke down in tears. And I was like, man, how can you be so unkind to someone? That was my like, 10th red flag where I was like, no.
You were done.
Yeah.
You were done.
I was over it.
That dude. L.
Yeah.
Big L. Big L.
We're going to find you.
Coming up next, a pair of TikTokers are going viral after an unfortunate mishap on their trip to Nice, France. We'll tell you more when we take a look at what's trending. That's coming up next. Like how I said France, I don't know why. All of a sudden I said Nice, France. It is 6:45. CTV Morning Live will be right back after this. Good morning, Ottawa.
Welcome back, everybody. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. The sunshine finally reappearing. It's hard to believe it already takes that long to see some sun, but it is a beautiful day. Melissa has that full forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Welcome back to CTV Morning Live. Here's what you need to know right now. We've learned that one of the Canadians killed in the deadly Lisbon funicular crash last week is from Ottawa. Aziz Ben Haref was on vacation with his wife when it happened. His heartbroken family feels the Canadian government should have done more.
In your forecast this morning, sunshine on the way this afternoon, mix of sun and cloud, a high of 24 for today. Similar day tomorrow, 23, more sunshine, and we will see that on Friday with a high of 22. On your roads this morning, here's a live look at your time saver traffic. Seeing some very heavy volume already on the 174. This is approaching the Cumberland Ferry, so you may want to try taking Old Montreal Road if you are heading to downtown from Cumberland or Rockland this morning.
Time Saver Traffic is brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers. 1-800-JUSTICE.
Today in the social room, we are asking you, do you like the city's e-scooter program? And here's what some of you had to say. Elaine says, I do not believe they should. Personally, I think these scooters are dangerous. to the riders and people walking on the sidewalks. We lived in the city before scooters, and we will continue to after they are gone. Okay, so you're not liking the scooters, Elaine. We got you.
Yeah, Elaine is a no-go. John says, no, I used one once and it wasn't able to end the trip because the app didn't recognize where I was. I was charged for the time I spent trying to release it, and the company was impossible to contact. Never again.
That did happen to me as well. You're like walking around with the scooter and you're trying to dock it, and it's like,
at the particular spot.
No, it's telling you, go here. And I'm like, but I'm here. And I was wandering around like a crazy person in a circle, just like in a circle, and I couldn't dock it.
Yeah.
It was really hard to dock. That happened to me once. So I hear you, John. I feel your pain. I know what you're talking about. And that was very frustrating.
And then getting charged for it, too, for that time that you're already circling and, trying to figure it out. So.
Yeah.
Well, that is the social room question. Do you like the city's e-scooter program that has been extended for the next few years? Let us know. Ottawa.morning@ctv.ca.
It's time now to take a look at what's trending, and we're starting with this. It's a bizarre story that's gone viral after 2 American women traveling to Nice, France, ended up in the wrong continent.
What do we do? Wait, we were supposed to go to Nice. We told the guy Nice. Nice. We told them Nice.
Yes, later. After this flight.
It's gonna go to Nice?
You change the plane later.
We're gonna have to go change it in Tunis.
A pair of American TikTokers missed their original flight to Nice, but the person at the desk helping them get on a new one misheard and sent them to Tunis, a city in Tunisia. The women landed in Tunis and struggled with a language barrier trying to get on a new flight. They did lose a couple of $100s in the process of trying to get to their destination, but good news, they did eventually make it, and a reaction to the story has been mixed online, with some feeling bad for their ordeal, others saying they're not sure how they didn't realize they were not going to France based on the information on their boarding pass and at their gate.
That's how.
Right?
That's how kind of I feel now after it, because you're checking your boarding pass, like it's on your phone now.
Yeah.
You're looking at the gate where you're at. They announce it how many times. I feel like it's really difficult to not know until you're already there.
That, yeah, and I think if you had the original boarding pass to Nice and this, you were like, realized the little abbreviations were wrong, like if it's abbreviated. But anyways, maybe they were busy, distracted on their phones, TikTok.
Yeah, that's right. They were too busy texting a breakup. Yeah, going on.
It's always one of the most anticipated announcements in the tech world. Apple unveiling its new products on Tuesday. They include a new slimmer iPhone Air model, as well as an iPhone 17 in the latest upgrades to its flagship smartphone. The iPhone Air model is the star of the annual production launch event, and Apple says the model will be the most durable iPhone yet. Apple added that the base model, iPhone 17, will have a brighter and more scratch-resistant screen. I mean, this is one thing that I always complain about Apple about. Like, I love my Apple products, but they break. So, like, my iPhone, the back part of the screen is all completely smashed, even though I have a protector. And then my watch, also all cracked. And it didn't even fall. Like, it was, like, on a surface like this, and it just, fell slightly, and I heard it go, krick. And I said, oh, no, that didn't sound great. Sure enough, it broke.
It's amazing how that one falls, but then all the way down to the floor, it's usually okay.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And finally, we're learning more about season 4 of HBO's hit anthology series, The White Lotus.
Welcome to The White Lotus.
The show is set at the fictional posh White Lotus Resort at different destinations around the world. Past seasons have been set in Thailand, Italy, and Hawaii, and season 4 will take place in France. It's unclear when the show will premiere or who will star in the upcoming season. Several stars of season 3 are up for Emmy Awards at this week's ceremony.
Can't wait for that one, as always.
Yeah.
They're so good. Like every season so far has been so
Still
awesome.
on season 1.
What are you?
I know.
No, never mind. I can never get mad because you're so busy. You got so much going on.
I know all of the kids TV shows off by heart. I can say them verbatim, but my adult shows, it's very slim.
Yeah. That's one I think should move to the top of the list on when you can squeeze in an episode or two.
I will have to do that. Here's a look at your ride. Drive in. No major issues east to west. Just seeing some slowdowns 174 as you approach Cumberland, so take Old Montreal Road if you can. It is 6:56. You're watching CTV Morning Live.
Today, an Ottawa man is among those who died in the funicular crash in Lisbon last week.
He's one of the sweetest human being ever. He was kind to everyone. He was generous, hardworking.
Why his family says they are concerned the federal government isn't doing enough to help after the tragedy. Gananoque's mayor wants to crack down on out-of-province drivers skipping out on parking tickets.
I wouldn't keep us away, but sure puts a bad taste in your mouth.
More details on the plan that some are calling heavy-handed. And CityFolk gets underway at Lansdowne Park tonight.
Taking me out of the ordinary. I want you to lay me down.
We get a preview of all the can't-miss shows. It's Wednesday, September 10th. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Good morning and happy Wednesday. A new day, a fresh start. Welcome to CTV Morning Live.
Yeah, Ontario Premier Doug Ford wants local municipalities to do away with photo radar cameras. We'll tell you a little bit more about what he said yesterday in just a moment. But first, we're going to take a peek if we have another beautiful morning ahead.
We sure do. If you're heading out for the school bus this morning, it's a little cool, so grab your jacket, but sunny into the afternoon and a high of 24. I'll break down your recess forecast coming up in a few minutes, but first, our news headlines.
We've learned that one of the Canadians killed in the deadly Lisbon funicular crash last week is a man from Ottawa. Aziz Ben Haref was on vacation with his wife when it happened. His heartbroken family tells CTV News they feel the Canadian government should have done more. This is the last photo the couple took together. Ben Haref is a Canadian citizen originally from Morocco. His wife, Hind Igernan, is a permanent resident here. She says it took days to learn her husband was among the dead. She spoke with CTV News from a hospital in Lisbon, not wanting to appear on camera because of the extent of her injuries. Here's what she said about the crash and what she wants people to know about her husband.
Very, very fast, like going in a highway. And everyone was screaming. It was very scary. It's crashed. I didn't see him. I called him. I was calling Aziz, and he didn't answer. He's one of the sweetest human being ever. He was kind to everyone. He was generous, hardworking.
Hind Igernan remains in hospital. Once cleared to fly, she'll go to Morocco where her husband will be buried.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is urging municipalities to get rid of photo radar cameras altogether, saying they are nothing but a tax grab. Ford made the comments after 16 cameras in Toronto were cut down and damaged overnight. In that city, more than 800 speed cameras have been vandalized so far this year. These latest incidents have sparked a debate about the cameras themselves, but for years, drivers across the province have pushed back against the program, and now the Premier is as well. He says he's going to take matters into his own hands if cities don't remove the cameras.
They should take out those cameras, all of them. If you want to slow down traffic at school, you put the big, huge signs, big flashing lights, crossing area, people will slow down. This is nothing but a tax grab.
His comments come as work is underway to install 24 new cameras on Ottawa roads by the end of this year. There are currently 60 photo radar cameras set up across the city.
The United Nations Security Council will meet today to talk about Israel's strike against Hamas inside Qatar. A measure of calm returned to Doha this morning, a day after the attack. Hamas says 5 of its members were killed, but its top leadership survived. The strike has drawn condemnation from the international community and Canada. Qatar had been hosting indirect talks working toward a plan for a ceasefire. Those talks have now been put on hold.
The current talks, I don't think there is something valid right now, while after we're seeing such an attack.
Israel justified the strike by saying it targeted Hamas leaders behind the October 7th attacks. Qatar calls it a violation of international law. This as U.S. President Donald Trump distanced himself from Israel's actions.
Ottawa's Election Compliance Committee will not launch legal proceedings against Councillor Sean Menard after he underreported his 2022 campaign expenses. Someone filed a complaint against the Capital Ward councillor 2 years ago, saying he did not account for all the money that he spent on campaign signs. Eventually, a judge ordered a compliance audit which found he underreported the value of old election signs by $310, though he still did not exceed the expense limits. Yesterday, the city committee decided not to pursue any further legal proceedings. Gananoque's Mayor John Beddoes is looking to literally clamp down on out-of-province drivers who are issued parking tickets in the community. He's proposing a plan to allow officers to put clamps on the tires of those cars when issuing a parking ticket in a bid to get them to pay before leaving town. The mayor argues out-of-province drivers don't face the same enforcement measures as those with Ontario plates once they return home. Beddoes used the Strong Mayors Act to propose the idea, but some town councillors have concerns.
Is being strong-handed on what's probably less than $2,000 worth of unpaid parking tickets an issue? It probably isn't.
I wouldn't keep us away, but sure puts a bad taste in your mouth.
This parking proposal was just one idea from a 27-point mayoral directive released at the end of August. Beddoes is calling it supplemental guidance for municipal staff when drafting the 2026 and 2027 budgets. Council and city staff are expected to go over the proposals at their next meeting, which takes place on September 16th.
Developing news this morning, Poland says it has shot down Russian drones, violating its airspace during aerial attacks on Ukraine. Poland's prime minister says 19 Russian drones entered the country's airspace overnight, and 4 of them were shot down. Speaking ahead of an emergency meeting, Donald Tusk said it was the first time Russian drones had been shot down over Poland. Citizens in 3 Polish regions along the Ukrainian border were told to stay home. Ukraine's Air Force said Russia's attack involved 415 drones, 1 ballistic and 42 cruise missiles. Airports in Poland have reopened and the military operation has ended.
A special milestone to recognize for a woman in Saskatchewan who's lived through more than a century of history.
I'm trying to tell everybody I'm 104. They don't believe me. That's why I went and took out my birth certificate and carry it in my purse.
Oh, we love it. Rochelle Ironside is marking her 104th birthday, and to celebrate, she was surrounded by friends and family at her care home in Saskatoon. Ironside was born in 1921 and has seen many changes over her time.
She has lived when there was no electricity or cars. Wow. She also loves the Oilers. Wayne Gretzky is her favorite player. She says her morning breakfast routine is her secret to a long life. Peanut butter and jelly on white untoasted bread. There you go.
Amazing.
There you go.
Amazing.
104.
Wow. What a
Congratulations.
life. And still got it, too, right? Like, I love that. So got some wit to her, too.
It's wonderful.
And you think about the changes that, that we go through life, and especially as technology advances so quickly.
Yeah.
1921, no electricity, no computers, nothing like that. And up to this point now where AI is doing everything, I can't even imagine her mentality about how things have changed. So cool.
Okay, we got to talk about your forecast. But first, Melissa, the weather picture.
That's right. Our weather picture is brought to you by Box Me Up. Moving, staging, renovating. Box Me Up. Visit boxmeup.ca to book your mobile storage container today. This was sent to us from Jackie. It's the sunset from Morrisburg, Ontario. Look at that beautiful sunset. Stunning photo, Jackie. Thank you so much for sending that in to us. Of course, we also love seeing your weather shots. You can be featured right here on the show. Email them to us, weathershots@ctv.ca. Again, that email address is weathershots@ctv.ca. We're seeing a little bit of fog still out there this morning. That should dissipate within the next hour. A little bit cooler temperatures as well, but sunny into the afternoon. Currently sitting at 9 degrees, so we have warmed up. We were sitting at 8 just earlier this morning. 7 degrees in Kempville, still 17 in Kingston, so that's the warmest spot in our viewing region, 2 in Bancroft, so always a little bit cooler in Bancroft to start things off. 5 currently out in the valley this hour. So still dealing with a little bit of that fog into the afternoon. We will see lots of sunshine on the way. So we actually have a beautiful day ahead for kids heading out to recess. Of course, you want to know what the recess forecast will look like. Temps will sit in the mid to high teens throughout your morning recess. We will get to see that sunshine. Then later on this afternoon, still more sunshine on the way. We'll hit that daytime high of 24 by 1 p.m. Your 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Center, celebrating over 80 years in family business. And the next few days, absolutely beautiful outside. Temperatures above seasonal and so much sunshine on the way right through until Friday. 24 for today, 23 tomorrow, 22 on Friday. It's the overnight lows that are still a little bit cool over the next couple of days. They will warm up into the weekend, but then daytime highs will actually drop. 20 degrees for Saturday, a little bit cloudier. Sunday is the day we could see some rain.
It's just a beautiful week. We are kicking it off yesterday with some sunshine and continuing on, staying in the 20s for as long as we can. Time now for a live check on your time saver traffic. The eastbound 417 at this point seeing some delays from Maitland to Bronson. Now let's switch things over to the westbound. Some sticky spots near Nicholas, and we do have major delays on the 174 approaching the Cumberland Ferry this morning. Old Montreal Road is moving smoothly if you are looking for maybe a little bit of a quicker route, so definitely avoid that and take Montreal Road if you are heading downtown this morning. But the sun is shining, temperature starting to warm up, a little bit crispy out there too, but a nice afternoon ahead. Melissa, we will send things back over to you.
And we don't need to tell you that wasps are everywhere this time of the year. While some are there for a nuisance, others, stings can be fatal. It was just last week when a woman was stung by a wasp at a Cornwall A&W restaurant. She suffered a severe reaction, but thanks to some quick thinking staff, she was able to fully recover.
It was insane. It was just, you couldn't see her eyes anymore, her lips, her tongue was completely out of her mouth.
But within seconds of having the EpiPen, things started to come back to normal, and swelling went down, the breathing went there. Yeah, it was, thank goodness for the EpiPen, that's all I can say.
So what do you need to know about wasp stings and bug allergies that could result in adverse effects from bites or stings? We have paged Dr. Paul this morning to find out. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, let's talk about this. Some stings, you know, it's no problem at all. Sure. Others, you can have this adverse reaction.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that most bites, you know, come from mosquitoes and you know, flies and so on, and could cause a reaction, a local reaction. It could be a big reaction. So especially young children, you can get a bite on your hand and you get a whole swelling of your hand. The difference is, though, however, for what we call venom bites, wasps, bees sometimes, you know, hornets, those type of things have a venom that injects into the body. Now, in most people, it'll cause a local reaction.
Yeah.
Okay. But in people who have a tendency to be allergic, they have reactions all over the body, and that's the difference. So if you have a local reaction, it could be a bee sting or a hornet. I mean, I was bit by one a couple of weeks ago, and it just, you know, I had a bit of a bump here, and that was it, right? Had I been allergic to it, it would have gone beyond where the bite was. Like
so
the whole
it spreads throughout your body.
It spreads through the body. Your body reacts violently to it, really, and causes really swelling of the face, swelling of the tongue, swelling of the throat, difficulty breathing, and can actually cause death. I mean, some people have died of this. So it is, there's a difference. So, but I want people to understand that most people who get bitten don't react that way.
Severe reaction.
But if you have had that reaction, so let's say now you were bitten, and all of a sudden, you know, you have tingling on your mouth, you know, difficulty breathing, then really you have to think about, oh, this may be more than just a local reaction, and you need to be assessed by a physician. Because there's a good news story here. Number one, first of all, people who have that type of allergy should always have an EpiPen with them. The EpiPen has adrenaline in it that reverses that big reaction.
Which is what we saw in this case.
They ran to get it.
They were able to get it, and they said within seconds it was going down.
And most people who know they have a sting allergy, or even a peanut allergy for that matter, should be carrying an EpiPen on them anyway. And so, but the good news is that you can get tested, and if you do have a venom allergy, be it a wasp or a hornet, we can actually treat it. There's actually shots, and shots can actually even get rid of the allergy completely or diminish the severity of it. So the good news is that if you do suspect it, get it evaluated, your doctor can send you to an allergist. They'll do allergy skin tests, discover which type of hornet you're, because there's different types, you're allergic to, and then you can get shots for a couple of years, and that will actually either cure or significantly reduce the risk of you having a severe reaction. And that's really the only type of allergy that we can actually cure or actually treat.
Interesting.
So it is a good news story. So overall, this ended up well, but I think if you know that you have an allergy, that you should always be carrying an EpiPen. And again, unfortunately, for other allergies, there's no treatment, but for this, there is. So I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah, that's some great news. And for typical kids who get stung and don't have that adverse reaction, what's the best way to do to soothe them? Because of course, those stings, they hurt.
They do hurt. So you know, obviously, the other thing too is that we know that we put insecticide, you know, DEET and all that. Bees don't care.
Yeah,
they'll still bite you anyway. So what we really tell people is that, you know, as soon as there's a reaction there, cool compresses. Cool compresses, if it really hurts a lot or itches a lot, you can take some over-the-counter antihistamines or calamine lotion. But the bottom line is if you put some cool compresses on it, it'll soothe it for the children. And again, going back to, we're still starting school, so again, just a reminder to parents, if they do have children who have severe allergies, obviously the school should know about it. There should be an EpiPen and there should be an action plan of what to do, whether it's bee sting, peanut allergy, or other type of severe allergy.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today and helping us break it down, and some good news if you know you are allergic to wasps and hornets. Coming up next, we are checking out this year's lineup at CityFolk Fest as it gets underway at Lansdowne Park tonight. We'll learn more about the wonderful acts, and our guest is standing right by in our CTV Morning Live Lazy Boy Lounge this morning. Can't wait to have that conversation. It is 7:17. You're watching CTV Morning Live.
Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Beautiful start to the day, plenty of sunshine. Welcome back to CTV Morning Live. Get ready for the CityFolk Festival. It all gets started tonight at Lansdowne Park. This song is so uplifting. Alex Warren headlines the first night of shows on the Great Lawn at Lansdowne Park. Other headliners include Melissa Etheridge, Morrissey, and Down with Webster. Joining me now is spokesperson Joe Riley. He's going to give us his picks for what you can check out at the festival. Joe, it's great to have you back.
It's nice to be back.
Yeah, it's so great. I don't know, there's just something about music festivals. It's like go, enjoy, be inspired. I love this.
I love working on them, have since 1987, and it's great to be out talking about music. I love it.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to throw to some acts here, and we can talk about them on the flip side, okay? Let's take a look at the first one.
So I'll give a hoot what you do, say, girl, I know you a little too tame. I'll be shooting that shot like 2K, girl, I know. Tell 'em I'm
Yeah, there's Paul Russell. This song was such a massive hit. If you go on social media like TikTok, Instagram, everybody used this song.
Look at the good time he's having.
And he
Isn't it perfect for a festival?
It is, man. He just took this song, made it his own. Talk about this.
And he's also riffing on You Get the Best of My Love, like a song that goes way back, which older folks like me might remember.
I remember too.
Fantastic. Great vibe for opening night, along with Alex, as you mentioned. Real pop kind of classics tonight. So it's a city pop folk tonight.
There you go. There you go. It's city pop folk for city folk. There you go. And we got the next one, Rum Ragged.
This place you are leaving is ever your home. It'll occupy your needing when you want no more to roam.
Yeah, this is, you know what? This is folk. This is folk music right here, right?
Full disclosure, I'm from Newfoundland. I had to mention a Newfoundland band.
You have to. Come on. Tell us about
it. And they do great traditional songs. You know, the Irish Descendants in Great Big Sea, whenever they show up, flocks of people come out, no pun intended. And same for these guys. And they're really telling the story of Newfoundland in song, going way back, and also newer things. And they are amazing live. They're great instrumentalists too. They play their instruments so beautifully.
Oh, that's wonderful. Looking forward to that. And next up, James. Tell me about James.
Okay, well, look at Tim Booth in the background there, the lead singer. Oh my God, he gets so lost in the music. And I told you about them when I came in and we did the launch, and I brought him back again. This is the band to absolutely see at CityFolk this year. Their live performances are stunning. Morrissey has his work cut out for him, I think, coming on after these guys. And they're so up, and they're so all about, their music is all about community building and bringing people together, and I just love it. Look at those legs. I love it.
Look. There's something about it when you see a musician just totally into their music, the band, and then of course the audience too, but you know that they're just living their music.
When I go to a live show, I want to get elevated. I want to go somewhere else and just through the music, and I love it, and a band like this does it every time.
Kaya Cater, is that right?
Yes,
Let's take a look.
You take the leg, the wing, the shoulder, and sing all hail.
I was hoping we were going to have the clip with her playing the banjo, because I went Bill Carroll yesterday arguing the beauty of the banjo. She's an amazing banjo player from Montreal, a true folk artist, but with a lot of contemporary elements. This is one of her more kind of laid-back numbers, but she's an amazing artist, like Alison Russell out of Montreal.
Okay. Got it. The last one that you'd recommend, I mean, you recommend every act, of course.
They're all good.
I mean, come on, but Pogue.
The Pogues are back.
Why the gasworks walls.
The Pogues.
The Pogues are back. Shane McGowan is no longer with us, of course, and some of the key members are not any longer with us. But the core guys have gotten back together with a group of really young, fresh, and vibrant Irish artists, and they're all thrilled to be out playing the music of the Pogues again. They did a memorable show in Ottawa in 1986 at Barrymore's. People are just chomping at the bit for them to come back.
CityFolk Festival kicks off tonight at Lansdowne on the Great Lawn. This is so wonderful. Listen, the weather is going to be spectacular this week.
Yes, we'll talk about the weather for today. It's like the pitcher, you know, in the World Series. We don't give the whole rundown yet.
There you go.
But you can do it. You can give that weather forecast all you like.
Exactly. If folks want to know more information, cityfolkfestival.com.
Things to bring, not to bring, how to get tickets, it's all there. Check it out.
Okay, Joe Riley, thank you so much for stopping by.
Well, thanks for having me.
Wishing you
Pleasure.
a wonderful festival.
Thank you.
All right, taking a quick look now at your traffic as we head to break. Not a major slowdown there. Things are looking nice and bright outside as well. You're watching CTV Morning Live. We'll be right back after this short break. Good morning, Ottawa. Good morning and welcome to CTV Morning Live on your Wednesday. Come on in. Hope you're having a great start to the morning. Why don't we take a look right now at your wake-up weather.
And not a bad looking start to your day. Still dealing with a little bit of fog patches out there, and it is a little cool. Temperatures hovering around 9 degrees this hour. Full forecast details. I'll tell you how long the sunshine will stick around. But first, our news headlines.
We've learned that one of the Canadians killed in the deadly Lisbon funicular crash last week is a man from Ottawa. Aziz Ben Haref was on vacation with his wife when it happened. His heartbroken family tells CTV News they feel the Canadian government should have done more. This is the last photo the couple took together. Ben Haref is a Canadian citizen originally from Morocco. His wife, Hind Igernan, is a permanent resident here. She says it took days to learn her husband was among the dead. She spoke with CTV News from a hospital in Lisbon, not wanting to appear on camera because the extent of her injuries. Here's what she said about the crash and what she wants people to know about her husband.
Very, very fast, like going in a highway, and everyone was screaming. It was very scary. It crashed. I didn't see him. I called him. I was calling Aunties, and he didn't answer. He's one of the sweetest human being ever. He was kind to everyone. He was generous, hardworking.
Hind Igernan remains in hospital. Once clear to fly, she'll go to Morocco, where her husband will be buried.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is urging municipalities to get rid of photo radar cameras altogether, saying they are nothing but a tax grab. Ford made the comments after 16 cameras in Toronto were cut down and damaged overnight. In that city, more than 800 speed cameras have already been vandalized this year. These latest incidents have sparked a debate about the cameras themselves. For years, drivers across the province have pushed back against the program, and now the Premier is joining that. He says he will take matters into his own hands if the cities don't remove them.
They should take out those cameras, all of them. If you want to slow down traffic at school, you put the big, huge signs, big flashing lights, crossing area, people will slow down. This is nothing but a tax grab.
His comments come as work is underway to install 24 new cameras on Ottawa roads by the end of this year. There are currently 60 photo radar cameras set up across the city.
The United Nations Security Council will meet today to talk about Israel's strike against Hamas inside Qatar. A measure of calm returned to Doha this morning, a day after the attack. Hamas says 5 of its members were killed, but its top leadership survived. The strike has drawn condemnation from the international community and Canada. Qatar had been hosting indirect talks, working toward a plan for a ceasefire. Those talks have now been put on hold.
The current talks, I don't think there is something valid right now, while after we're seeing such an attack.
Israel justified the strike by saying it targeted Hamas leaders behind the October 7th attacks. Qatar calls it a violation of international law.
Ottawa's Election Compliance Committee will not launch legal proceedings against Councillor Sean Menard after he underreported his 2022 campaign expenses. Someone filed a complaint against the Capital Ward councillor 2 years ago, saying that he did not account for all the money he spent on campaign signs. Eventually, a judge ordered a compliance audit which found he underreported the value of old election signs by $310, though that still does not exceed the expense limit. Yesterday, the city committee decided not to pursue any further legal proceedings. Gananoque's Mayor John Beddoes is looking to literally clamp down on out-of-province drivers who are issued parking tickets within that community. He's proposing a plan to allow officers to put clamps on the tires of those cars when issuing a parking ticket in a bid to get them to pay before leaving town. The mayor argues out-of-province drivers don't face the same enforcement measures as those with Ontario plates once they return home. Beddoes used the Strong Mayors Act to propose the idea, but some councillors have concerns.
Is being strong-handed on what's probably less than $2,000 worth of unpaid parking tickets an issue? It probably isn't.
I wouldn't keep us away, but sure puts a bad taste in your mouth.
This parking proposal was just one idea from a 27-point mayoral directive released at the end of August. Beddoes is calling it supplemental guidance for municipal staff when drafting the 2026 and 2027 budgets. Council and city staff are expected to go over the proposals at their next meeting, which takes place September 16th.
Developing news this morning, Poland says it has shot down Russian drones violating its airspace during an aerial attack on Ukraine. Poland's prime minister says 19 Russian drones entered the country's airspace overnight, and 4 of them were shot down. Speaking ahead of an emergency meeting, Donald Tusk said it was the first time Russian drones had been shot down over Poland. Citizens in 3 Polish regions along the Ukrainian border were told to stay at home. Ukraine's Air Force said Russia's attack involved 415 drones, 1 ballistic, and 42 cruise missiles. Airports in Poland have reopened, and the military operation has ended. Ottawa Public Library is looking to build, renovate, or relocate 18 branches across the city over the next 20 years. It's to address different branch demands and future growth needs. Among the branches on the list are Greenboro, Sunnyside on Bank Street, Barrhaven, and Carlingwood. You can find a full list of affected branches and city recommendations on our website, ctvottawa.ca.
A Florida man's quiet afternoon at home was shattered by an unexpected visitor.
Huge! So that's a 300-pound wild boar. It smashed through his sliding glass door, startling him, naturally. He says that it just stood there for about 40 minutes before the police came.
Oh my goodness. From there, It was a bit of a struggle for them wrangling the boar before they eventually got it under control.
That's a long time, 40 minutes to just kind of be staring eye to eye, going like, what do we do here?
Oh my
Wild.
goodness.
And it like smashed right through the door.
Do you sit still or do you take off when something like that happens? I don't know.
You know, I don't know. They probably have advice and they probably know what to do. If it's a crocodile or like a bear, you know, you kind of know. But a boar, I wouldn't even know what to do.
Yeah, we don't have the rule book for boars. And that's not on the list here. And it's just smashing through. Like, your adrenaline would just be going. So I think that's, as it happens, that's just, you would do whatever you do in that moment.
I think it's one of those moments you pause, you freak, and then you run.
Yeah. A little scream. Maybe a little scream.
Kids run too.
Oh, yeah. I'd be grabbing my babies, no doubt.
Oh, man.
Yeah, wow. So much for a quiet afternoon for that poor man.
What's our afternoon going to be like as far as the weather's concerned, Melissa?
At least our skies are calm today.
Yeah,
that's what I
nice.
can tell you. We're not going to deal with anything a little crazy in our skies.
Good. But with that fog, what if a boar comes and we don't see it in time?
Well, then I don't know what to do. I don't have the boar rule book like you mentioned. That fog should dissipate slowly, so it should be done within the next half an hour or so, and then it will be sunny and warm into your afternoon. And tomorrow we have more of that sunshine on the way. So overall, a gorgeous couple of days still left this week before we see some rain. Sitting at 9 degrees here in the city, 7 in Kemptville. Still very warm along Kingston, sitting at 17. Cooler in Bancroft, 2 degrees only this morning, 5 currently in Petawawa. So not too bad as temperatures slowly start to warm up this morning. We are still seeing some slight fog out there in the lower lying areas, but most of it has dissipated and it should dissipate within the next hour or so. Then into your day ahead, we will get to see some sunshine. Now, as we move through the evening, that's when we will start to see a few clouds rolling through. So an increase of cloudiness later on this evening, overnight, and into your day tomorrow. So tomorrow is looking a little bit cloudier than today, but still lots of sunshine on the way for Thursday, which will continue into Friday as well. So today, a high of 24. Those winds, hardly a factor. Very, very light winds, gusting around 5 kilometers an hour. So calm winds in the forecast today. We'll still feel closer to 26 this afternoon with that Humidex. As for tonight, we're still seeing those cool overnights dropping down to the single digits into the overnight. And you can see cool overnights over the next couple of days. 23 as we head in tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud. 22 on Friday, the sun will be shining bright. Enjoy, because as we head into the weekend, it's looking a little different. Cloudier for Saturday, showers on Sunday. Temperatures a little bit below the norm as well, especially as we head into Sunday, a high of only 19. The difference is the overnight lows will actually be a little bit warmer as we head into the weekend. Next week, temperatures climbing back into the 20s, a mixture of rain and sun. On your roads this morning, here's a live look at your time saver traffic, and still no major issues. We are collision free on your roads, but we are seeing heavy volume. The split in through downtown, it's a little bit heavy. If you're heading eastbound on the 417, Richmond in through Pinecrest, also dealing with some volume this hour.
Time Saver Traffic is brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers. 1-800-JUSTICE.
It is time now to celebrate birthdays on your Wednesday, September 10th. We've got one birthday, and we have to say happy 6th birthday to Blake. Love from Mommy, Daddy, Carrie, and Henry.
Solo B-Day today, taking all the spotlight. Way to go, Blake. If your little one has a birthday, we want to share it with our viewers. Send us those announcements for kids who are 13 and younger. We need their name, age, hometown. Email us, ottawa.birthdays@ctv.ca, and we will be sure to get that announcement on air. Melissa, we'll send things over to you with a mentor of mine forever.
Yeah, it's a very familiar face for us, and you don't want to miss an extraordinary experience at the 55 Plus Lifestyle Show at the EY Center. Better than ever, this popular event features an impressive lineup of entertainers, exhibitors, and experts ready to help you make the most out of your future. And joining us this morning is that familiar face. He is the host of the 55 Plus Lifestyle Show and former CTV news anchor, Michael O'Byrne. Welcome back to the show.
Great to see you. This is always like coming home.
It is for us too. It's always great to see
Will
you.
over there, and it's a full circle moment. He used to sit over here, and I used to be over there, and he used to do the weekender. Now our roles are kind of reversed.
Right, exactly. And it's so cool to see you coming back to visit us all the time. Let's talk about the 55 Plus Lifestyle Show, because this is quite the show.
It is a great show. It runs this weekend at the EY Center. Doors open at 10 and they close at 4. And the important thing people really need to know about this show is it's absolutely free.
I love that.
It's absolutely free.
Because usually you have to
ticket.
pay to get into these shows, where this one's free, which is great.
This is free thanks to our good friends at Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, who've been partners of the show for many, many, many years. The show is put together by the Coil Media Group, and it's really a year-round venture. There's 2 shows every year, but they're already working on next year's spring show before we even open the fall show this year.
Incredible.
So it's there's so much to do. There's 50,000 square feet of space.
Wow.
There's over 100 vendors, and you name it, it's there.
Okay.
Finance, which is really important to the 55-plus community.
Absolutely.
Travel, which is one of the really, really big ones for me, because I love traveling. So many of us love traveling. Home renovations. Mattresses. It's amazing how many people walk out with pillows.
Yeah,
I bet.
I bet even things like accessibility, like making sure my house is accessible for as I
100%.
age. And it's even good for people who are younger, because it's never too early to start thinking about those, changes in your life.
You know, it's a 55-plus show, but you could say it's a bit of a 55-minus show as well.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people come as they start to plan for their futures, but as well, they're planning for the futures of their parents.
Yes, exactly.
So you pick up some ideas. It's a no-pressure environment. Most of these are local people. You just wander around, you get some ideas. At the very least, you're going to walk away with a bag full of ideas. Literally a bag full of ideas, because there's a lot of free stuff as well.
Okay, entertainment is provided as well.
2 shows every day. There's a show at 11:30 and there's a show at 2:30. The 11:30 show is Dueling Pianos.
Fun.
I know you've seen them.
I have. I absolutely have.
Dave Khalil, Tyler Keeley. These guys are absolutely amazing. They can play just about anything, except, it appears, Barry Manilow, my personal favorite. I always ask for Barry,
so
but I never get my
that.
Barry. These guys are amazing, and they're going to keep you hopping. They're going to have you up on your feet, and they're going to take your requests. And then the 2:30 show in the afternoon, The Amazing Fitzgerald Family.
Okay.
Now, if you want to see step dancing and fiddling, this family, a brother, 2 sisters. They are the best in Canada.
Amazing.
They are among the best in the world. They are as good as it gets. You're going to be clapping. You're going to be stomping your feet. You're going to be want to be up there on stage with them.
I bet.
High energy.
And there's a tasting area as well, so you can grab some food, which is always nice.
Well, if you're wandering around, there's some snacks as well, and the Perth Brewery is offering up some sampling.
Oh,
so we encourage you to drop over there. If you're driving to the show, you don't want to drop there too many times. But drop in, have a sip, but maybe you're taking public transportation as well, because there's an O-train stop right at the EY Center now.
Okay, great. Just give us the recap of when and where and what times.
Okay, so it's this Friday and Saturday.
Friday, Saturday.
EY Center. Doors open from 10 to 4, and there's also a chance for you to win a trip to Jamaica.
Oh,
the
my
good folks
goodness.
at Sandals is giving that away. It's an all-inclusive, maybe Ocho Rios, maybe Montego Bay.
Wow.
So,
oh, my goodness.
Lots of chances, lots of fun.
That's a reason in itself to just go. And, of course, you're going to be there. You can stop by and say hi to Michael.
I'm going to be there. Wayne Rostad is going to be there in the Davidson photo booth.
Awesome.
So we encourage you to drop by and say hello. 55plusshow.com. Come and say hello, please.
Amazing.
Great to see you.
So good to see you as well. Well, coming up here on CTV Morning Live, we continue our auto show week with Auto's BMW. They'll introduce us to one of their exclusive vehicles. Oh my goodness, Michael, I can't wait to see what they have.
Love those.
Look at that matte black finish and the black rims, and it even has a little Thule on the top. Can't wait to get the details on that. It is 7:46. You're watching CTV Morning Live.
Welcome back, everybody. Taking a peek through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. Temperatures are still feeling a little bit crispy this morning, but the sunshine finally poking through, reaching the low 20s this afternoon. Well, it is Auto Show Week here on CTV Morning Live, and yeah, we got a treat for you this morning. Aiden Gray from Auto's BMW has cruised into our parking lot with this majestic vehicle. Aiden, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I think everyone took notice, not just the security cameras, but everyone in our control room, everyone in the studio, because this car really makes a huge difference when it comes into the parking lot. What do we got here today?
So we have a 2025 M5 Touring here.
And what specifically about this car makes it so special? Because it's a BMW, we've got the matte black on it, it's the Touring. So what does the Touring specifically mean for this vehicle?
So that's really going to be coming back to the back here. So on a normal sedan, you're going to kind of get a little bit more of an SUV shape. It's going to come back. You'll have a little bit more trunk space for the family.
Which is always huge, especially this time of year, right? Like we want to be touring out, maybe we want to be camping, have a little bit of extra room, skiing, snowboarding, wakeboarding, whatever it might be.
Absolutely. It'll do all of that stuff, especially you put a roof box on it like we have here. You'll have tons more space in the trunk for putting all your stuff in.
Which is so great, and something that's really crucial, and you know a lot of people are starting to pick up on, especially this time of year. This is a hybrid vehicle.
Absolutely it is, yeah. You could do 50 kilometers on full electric if you'd like.
And what's like really one of the main points, like when you look at a hybrid vehicle, if someone comes to you and they're like, you know what, I'm not really quite sure yet if I'm ready to make the full switch, why is hybrid a really good choice?
I always propose it as an option for, especially for city driving, anyone that knows how Ottawa traffic can sometimes get. This is always a great option where you can just be full electric mode going, you know, sitting in traffic. And then of course, once the highway opens up, you can go back to your combustion motor and you're off.
It's so nice having the option, right? Like
yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to fully go gas, fully go hybrid as well.
Exactly.
And we're looking at the front right now. Like, I think this is the coolest part. Can you walk me through a little bit of the design of this
absolutely.
guy?
The illuminated kidney grills are something that's becoming kind of standard for some of the newer BMWs now. At nighttime, when you unlock the car, these will illuminate kind of as you're coming up to the car, and it's honestly such an amazing point.
It's so cool, especially like I was seeing it from the side too, and then you come to the front, and that's where the power is when you look at that.
Absolutely, yeah. It's so aggressive just from the front end. Honestly, all around this car, we have the carbon aero kit too that goes around, and it just helps just give this car the oomph that it already has.
But you know what? It's not just a beautiful aesthetic car. It doesn't just have the power, but it also has some great safety ratings as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, the fact that you're getting a little bit more of that body style closer to an SUV will always help in the event of anything that shouldn't be happening on the road, of course. But you know that your family is always going to be a lot safer.
Okay, so Adam is going to get the shot to the inside here. We'll walk around. Can you walk me through the interior? Because it is so sleek when you get inside here. Walk me through a couple of the details of the inside of the car, because it is super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have all of your ambient lighting coming across from the dashboard all the way into the doors. You have your Bowers & Wilkins sound system, and then you'll have a 14.9-inch infotainment and a 12.9-inch dashboard. You'll have your buckets in the front there, and then you'll also be able to swap just from the touch of a button if you want to be in hybrid, full electric, or combustion motor mode.
So it's really easy to do those switches based on like where you're going for a specific trip.
And the car, you can also have it so the car will make that decision for you.
The cars these days, hey,
way too smart, way too smart, yeah.
And this is obviously, I mean, I'm taking a look at it. I'm assuming, is this a very exclusive vehicle for
It
Hong,
is,
or?
yeah. So what we're thinking right now, we believe it's less than 50 in Canada.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So you guys have one of those 50, or do you have a couple more, or is this the only one you guys got?
Only one right now, but there's definitely more going to be coming.
Oh man, it's so great. Well, hold on, I got to get behind the wheel here.
Go for it.
Give me a little bit of a taste of what this feels like to get inside the car. Man, it's so cool, nice and crisp and clean. It's like, and you drove this here just for me today, right?
Of course.
That's right.
I figured you were leaving with it, that's why.
Yeah, do I get the thumbs up from the crew? Our buddy Tyler from Autos too, I know him well. I don't think he'd let me drive this off the lot, but this is so wonderful. What a killer car. Aiden, if people are looking for some more information, because you guys are at Sens games, Red Blacks games, you're kind of everywhere in the city.
Absolutely, yeah. If there's ever any questions, please feel free to contact us. We try and show out to almost any Ottawa event that we can to kind of show face and support our community.
A big member of the community. Well, we appreciate you bringing this in today, Aiden, this beautiful car from Autos, and I'm going to take off, okay?
Have a good one.
All right, everybody, we'll be right back after this break. I'm just going to take off if they'll let me. Everybody have a great, I don't even know how to start this thing. Is it on? Can we go? I don't think I can legally do that. We'll be right back on CTV Morning Live. Good Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining us on CTV Morning Live. We are cruising through the 8 o'clock hour, and we have a really fun rest of the show for you.
We absolutely do. And coming up, we are going to introduce you to the Ottawa resident who has just been crowned Miss United World 2026. She is standing by right there in our CTV Morning Live Lazy Boy Lounge, and that is just ahead. Are you ready to learn how to do a pivot turn?
I am definitely ready. You know, I feel like I've got a really good turn, but that's just with my own rating. I don't have a professional rating, so it could be absolutely brutal.
Wait until we learn from the experts. Here's your forecast for right now. A high of 23 later on this afternoon. 24. We will see that sunshine into your day ahead. Full details on how much longer this sun will last. Right now, our news headlines.
We've learned that one of the Canadians killed in the deadly Lisbon funicular crash last week is a man from Ottawa. Aziz Ben Haref was on vacation with his wife when it happened. His heartbroken family tells CTV News they feel the Canadian government should have done more. This is the last photo the couple took together. Ben Haref is a Canadian citizen originally from Morocco. His wife, Hind Igernan, is a permanent resident here. She says it took days to learn her husband was among the dead. She spoke with CTV News from a hospital in Lisbon, not wanting to appear on camera because of the extent of her injuries. Here's what she said about the crash and what she wants people to know about her husband.
Very, very fast, like going in a highway, and everyone was screaming. It was very scary. It crashed. I didn't see him. I called him. I was calling Astis, and he didn't answer. He's one of the sweetest human being ever. He was kind to everyone. He was generous, hardworking.
Hind Igernan remains in hospital. Once cleared to fly, she will go to Morocco, where her husband will be buried.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is urging municipalities to get rid of photo radar cameras altogether, saying that they are nothing but a tax grab. Ford made the comments after 16 cameras in Toronto were cut down and damaged overnight. In that city, more than 800 speed cameras have been vandalized so far this year. These latest incidents have sparked debate about the cameras themselves. For years, drivers across the province have pushed back against the program, and now the Premier is joining in. He says he will take matters into his own hands if cities don't remove the cameras.
They should take out those cameras, all of them. If you want to slow down traffic at school, you put the big, huge signs, big flashing lights, crossing area, people will slow down. This is nothing but a tax grab.
His comments come as work is underway to install 24 new cameras on Ottawa roads by the end of this year. There are currently 60 photo radar cameras set up across the city.
The United Nations Security Council will meet today to talk about Israel's strike against Hamas inside Qatar. A measure of calm returned to Doha, the capital in Qatar, this morning, a day after the attack. Hamas says 5 of its members were killed, but its top leadership survived. The strike has drawn condemnation from the international community and Canada. Qatar had been hosting indirect talks working toward a plan for a ceasefire. Those talks have now been put on hold.
The current talks, I don't think there is something valid right now, while after we're seeing such an attack.
Israel justified the strike by saying it targeted Hamas leaders behind the October 7th attacks. Qatar calls it a violation of international law.
Ottawa's Election Compliance Committee will not launch legal proceedings against Councillor Sean Menard after he underreported his 2022 campaign expenses. Someone filed a complaint against the Capital Ward councillor 2 years ago, saying he did not account for all the money he spent on campaign signs. Eventually, a judge ordered a compliance audit which found he underreported the value of old election signs by $310, though he still did not exceed the expense limits. Yesterday, the city committee decided not to pursue any further legal proceedings. Gananoque's Mayor John Beddoes is looking to literally clamp down on out-of-province drivers who are issued parking tickets in that community. He's proposing a plan to allow officers to put clamps on the tires of those cars when issuing a parking ticket in a bid to get them to pay before leaving town. The mayor argues out-of-province drivers don't face the same enforcement measures as those with Ontario plates once they return home. Beddoes used the Strong Mayors Act to propose the idea, but some town councillors have concerns.
Is being strong-handed on what's probably less than $2,000 worth of unpaid parking tickets an issue? It probably isn't.
I wouldn't keep us away, but sure puts a bad taste in your mouth.
This parking proposal was just one idea from a 27-point mayoral directive released at the end of August. Beddoes is calling it supplemental guidance for municipal staff when drafting the 2026 and 2027 budgets. Council and city staff are expected to go over the proposals at their next meeting, which takes place September 16th.
Developing news this morning, Poland says it has shot down Russian drones violating its airspace during aerial attacks on Ukraine. Poland's prime minister says 19 Russian drones entered the country's airspace overnight and 4 of them were shot down. Speaking ahead of an emergency meeting, Donald Tusk said it was the first time Russian drones had been shot down over Poland. Citizens in 3 Polish regions along the Ukrainian border were told to stay at home. Ukraine's Air Force said Russia's attack involved 415 drones, 1 ballistic and 42 cruise missiles. Airports in Poland have reopened and the military operation has ended. The Ottawa Public Library is looking to build, renovate, or relocate 18 branches across the city over the next 20 years. It's to address different branch demands and future growth needs. Among the branches on the list are Greenboro, Sunnyside on Bank Street, Barrhaven, and Carlingwood. You can find a list of affected branches and city recommendations on our website, ctvottawa.ca.
A Florida man's quiet afternoon at home was shattered by this unexpected visitor.
Huge! I think a bleep is okay in this particular category. That's a 300-pound wild boar. It smashed through his sliding door, startling him. Says it then stood there for about 40 minutes before the police came.
From there, it was a bit of a struggle for them to wrangle the boar before they eventually got it under control. Yeah, look at it go. Woo!
Terrifying. You know, we were talking a little bit earlier where, you know, there's a list. Okay, here's what you do. You know, if there's a bear around, here's what you do. If there's a crocodile, but there's no list for a boar.
Yeah, and I was wondering if it had those horns because sometimes they have those big tusks, you know?
Yeah.
Which could make it a little dangerous.
Very aggressive,
Didn't
right?
See, but they could have been hidden.
Imagine just you know, sitting there, you know, watching some sports, watching a movie, and then bam, through the sliding door.
Nope. I would just get up. I would just say, nope, it's not there. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
It's just not there. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, and imagine then just walking away and like hearing it trample through your house and trash your house
my
and be
gosh.
like, don't hit my china or don't hit this. Oh,
Wouldn't even know what to do.
And
You
the
just,
mess after. Yeah.
Oh my
Crazy
goodness.
stuff, crazy stuff. Melissa, it's going to be just gorgeous this week. I mean, you're knocking it out of the park.
We've had this
Thank you.
beautiful week. I like to call it like the pre-fall, where it's not quite summer, you know, it's not as hot as summer, not as humid, even though we're technically still in summer, but we're not quite in fall conditions. So I like to call it pre-fall.
It's nice too, because even like from Labor Day weekend continuing to this week, like sometimes you can have those like 15-degree highs consistently, and we're staying in the 20s.
We're staying in the 20s, so temperatures are nice and warm, but it's not overly humid in the afternoon, which means you can actually get outside without just sweating by standing there. So it's actually the perfect time of the year to do some, you know, fall activities or summer activities, whatever your heart desires. We have climbed up to the double digits, so we're now at 10 degrees here in the city, same within Kemptville, 12 in Brockville, warming up even in Kingston, 18 degrees. Still the coolest place is Bancroft, sitting at 5, a little bit warmer in the valley as well, double digits currently in Gatineau. So in our skies this morning, we dealt with some fog that has dissipated for the most part into the day ahead. Lots of sunshine on the way into the afternoon, and then later on today, a little bit of a cloud coverage in the forecast, but wind speeds, look at this, hardly any wind speeds, gusting around 5 kilometers an hour. So winds hardly a factor. Great day to head to the golf course when you don't have to deal with the winds or the humidity. 24 is the high for today. We'll feel closer to 26 with that humidex this afternoon. As for tonight, still dealing with those cooler overnights, dropping down to 9 degrees. We are expecting some clouds into the overnight. Cloudy coverage for tomorrow, 23 is the high, but still above seasonal right through until Friday, where we will reach a high of 22, mainly sunny skies. Weekend forecast, temperatures will drop down through the day, but the overnight lows will warm up, so not quite as cold into the overnight. Cloudy coverage for Saturday. We are expecting some scattered showers on Sunday.
Look at that, actually seeing a pickup of temperatures as we cruise through the middle portion of September. Melissa knocking it out of the park this week, bringing us some sunshine. Taking a look at your time saver traffic on the roads this hour. Now, we don't have any collisions to report at this current time, but we are cruising beyond 10 o'clock. So what we do have is a buildup of congestion out on the roads, but we are seeing some sunshine out there, but definitely a little bit of a slowdown. Now let's take a look at your TSN's must-see moment.
Hello there, Kara Wagland inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we are heading across the pond. Canada taking on Wales in an international friendly. 41st minute off a set piece. Derek Cornelius unleashes a powerful free kick that smashes into the back of the net for the goal. Cornelius, just a beautiful strike for his first goal for his country. Canada would go on to defeat Wales 1-0. Cornelius taking home your must-see moment from Tuesday. And coming up Wednesday on TSN, you can catch some WNBA action when the Dream take on the Sun. Coverage for that one gets underway at 6 p.m. Central Time. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
Your new Miss United World is Canada.
First runner-up is...
Okay, I just got goosebumps when I heard that. Amazing. And that was Ottawa native Erin Chapman taking home the title of Miss United World 2026 in Round Rock, Texas. And we are so lucky because she joins us here live on CTV Morning Live to talk about your experience. This is the first time seeing this. So what is that like for you to kind of relive that moment?
It's actually crazy. I can't believe it just happened a week ago now.
Yeah.
It's been a whirlwind being back in Ottawa to share the crown and the title with the place that I call home. So it's a little bit surreal watching that happen.
And what was that moment like when you heard Canada? I mean, you must have been are you in shock? Are you excited? Is it kind of all of the emotions?
I felt very proud, especially being Canadian, to know that we're bringing home the title to Canada. It just felt correct
in the U.S. too, that kind of happened.
Yes, but everyone was so friendly over in Texas, that real Southern hospitality. And that's the thing that most people don't know about pageants. It's the community of women. They're all out there in their own communities doing so much, creating their own projects. And then when you get that many girls together in one room who are out there doing the work, it's the best. It's like camp, but with sparkles.
I love that absolutely so much. Okay, so talk more about what this title means, Miss World, United World.
So Miss United World is a United Sisterhood. It's a fashion-forward pageant, and it's actually multi-divisional. So we have Junior Teen, which was also won by a Canadian.
Amazing.
Teen, Miss, Ms, and Mrs. So with our titles now, we'll be going out into the communities. We'll be spreading awareness about the pageant system, and you can do any event that you would like to do with your title, but knowing me as a maximalist, I'm going to try to do as many events as possible and
my goodness, this
give
is
this
amazing.
crown some mileage.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Okay, so talk about some of the competitions that you had to go through.
So I'd say that pageants are typically won before you even get there. It's the amount of work that you do in your community before finals weekend. But at finals, you have a photogenic score, an interview, which you always say pageants are won in the interview room with the judges. And then, of course, on stage, you have swimwear, evening gown, and then that very nervous final on-stage question for the top 5.
Oh my goodness, and that's a live question where you don't know what they're asking you.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, so you have to be able to think on your toes.
Exactly,
And talk a little bit about your platform and what you want to achieve, because you're very involved in women and girls in sports.
So my platform is all about encouraging young girls to get involved in sports that aren't typically offered in their gym class curriculum. So pre-pandemic, that started as monthly workshops at the Glebe Community Center. During the pandemic, I hosted a podcast interviewing Canadian women who excel in non-traditional sports.
I love that.
And now I'm a published children's book author.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about your book.
Yes, the book is titled Ronnie the Rock Climber. It's a little bit of an homage to my grandfather, Ron, who passed away right before the book was published. And it's about a young girl who dreams of going on adventures but stays in her room reading about it. So her parents introduce her to rock climbing, which is a little bit different, and she falls in love.
Oh my goodness, I love that so much. Absolutely incredible. And the cool thing is you're going to teach us how to do A pivot turn
pageant
today.
stance, of course.
Okay, so show me how this goes. I'm going to call in my friend Will to help us out here this morning too, because if you know Will, my co-host, he is all about learning these fun things, especially the pivot turn. I think he needs to know how to do a pivot turn.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've self-graded myself a good score because I do little pivots and turns, you know, for my family and friends.
You do,
just,
for
you know,
us
very
too in the
dramatic
newsroom.
effect.
Perfect. So the first thing we need is good posture. So you're going to wear your crown and pull all the way up. And your back foot, so for me it's my left foot, is going to go at the 10 o'clock position.
Okay.
My right foot, my heel is going to go right to my toe and face the 2 o'clock position. Yeah, so this is our pageant stance, and you can change which foot you want.
Okay.
From there, I'm going to transfer weight to my front foot. I'm going to step in that same position on the other side. So 10 and 2. We're going to pivot towards the back foot, and you're still looking at the judges. And then last second, you whip your head to the back. Now my back foot comes forward again, and I step, pivot towards the back, leave your head, and whip.
Wow.
And that is a basic pivot turn for a pageant girl.
But I imagine you do that quickly,
Very
right?
quickly.
Okay, can you show us how fast you could do it? And we'll take some notes and try it
I might have
ourselves.
to hold the crown while I do that, because I whip my head a little
Like
bit.
you're quick.
And you, and I noticed
You
that
do that
look,
well.
like you were like in tune.
You have to look at the judges.
Oh my
And then you
goodness.
come back to your, what's called a T stance, which is your typical pageant.
And I was saying, is this appropriate in heels? But your heels are higher than mine, which is very rare.
I have a slight advantage with my shoes.
Okay.
These aren't too
more on the balls
difficult.
of your toes then.
That's
So
right, yeah.
When would a pivot turn be like? When would you use a pivot turn in competition?
So you would typically use this one, the fast one in swimwear. It's all about showing
Oh.
your personality, and you want to interact with the judges. Evening gown, it's more regal. You take your time.
Demure.
Yes, you do more what's called a lollipop turn, where you walk in a circle because you might get caught on your train.
Yes, that's familiar to me.
But
okay.
swimsuit, you want it to be fast and sassy, and you whip the cape, and you do your pivot turns, and you can even turn while you're walking. There's so many things you can do.
So each one has like their own vibe, theme, personality, and it's so different based on
So
whichever
you're
one.
very
versatile.
Pageants are truly a sport. You have to train not only your walk, you have to train with interview coaches. Mindset is huge.
Okay.
Honestly, it's like going to the Olympics or the Paralympic Games. You
Oh
have
my
to train
goodness.
to be the best.
Okay, where can people go for more information who are maybe interested at home to maybe try out a pageant or two?
Absolutely. I'd recommend going to unitedworld.com, so you'll find information there about internationals, which take place in Texas Labor Day 2026.
Okay.
And then Canadian nationals, so unitedworld.com/Canada. That's taking
Amazing.
place April 26th in London, Ontario.
All right.
And I'll be there.
All right, perfect. Can't wait to see that. Okay, should we pivot turn? Are you ready
Yes.
for it?
Sure.
Okay, so we start.
Okay, so you step back foot forward, turn towards the back, and whip your head. Step back foot forward, turn, and whip.
Whip and look. I think I missed the whip, but you know what? That's okay. The new bend and snap.
Got the look.
I could do the bend and snap, and I got to go the whip and look.
Exactly.
I love it. Thank you so much, Erin, for joining us today, and congratulations on all your success. It's so fantastic to see. Thank you, Will, for making me
Of
look
course.
good. Let me see. Let's see. Ooh.
I don't know
there
what
you
that
go.
one is, but I'm using it.
Winner, winner. That's the demure wave.
The demure wave, yes, we'll call it that.
Well, coming up here on CTV Morning Live, Le Cordon Bleu is celebrating an anniversary and welcoming a brand new chef. We'll have the details as they set up in our CTV Morning Live Delorier kitchen this morning. We'll have that information coming up next.
Dream big with Move 100. Now, dream $20,000 bigger. Listen weekdays for your chance to win $20,000 every week. Dream big, win bigger with Ottawa's Move 100. Hey.
CTV and TSN 1200 want you to be the Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week. Your team could win $1,000 for new equipment, tournament fees, or an incredible team party.
Shoot us a quick video, upload it at ctvottawa.ca. Whether it's hockey, ringette, choir, band, or any team in between. Each week, the winning team will join us live in studio at CTV Ottawa at 6 to claim their prize.
Enter today for your chance to be Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week.
Sunshine on the way into your afternoon and temperatures above seasonal yet again today. 24 is your daytime high. We will see a mix of sun and cloud later on this afternoon. It will feel closer to 26.
Le Cordon Bleu is welcoming guests back to its dinner service this fall. Joining me, we have a couple of chefs too. We got two people with us because one chef isn't enough. We have Chef Atifa and Chef Isabel joining us this morning. Good morning to the two of you.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
You know, you already, just from walking over here, make me feel so bad about the way I present my meals because these look so delicious. And I just throw it on the plate. But it's so exciting what's coming back here. And Chef Atifa, what we have is a return to dinner service, and you guys got a killer plan going forward.
Absolutely, yeah. We are celebrating the 130th anniversary. Le Cordon Bleu, you know, collaborating with Chef Isabella, bringing the instructors and the cuisine chefs together to collaborate on a 7-course meal that represents, you know, students and our instructors across the world.
And I think that's so great too. 7-course meal. You heard that correctly because
7 courses.
1, 3, 5. That's enough. We need 7 courses
7
here.
courses.
And we've got a couple of them to show us. So what have you brought with us to start today?
Absolutely. So Chef Isabel will talk about our 2nd course. We'll do a little skip here. 2nd course, the artichoke terrine. Yeah.
All right. What do we got here?
The artichoke terrine. We have the artichokes. Actually, in France, they just love artichokes. As you can see, we just brought one. And I wanted to do and to actually make it more elaborate in a terrine. So the artichoke terrine has actually some herbs. You have acidity with the artichokes, and then it goes with the what do you call it? The vierge sauce with the base scallops. Okay, and we're gonna have some basil all around, so there's a lot of herbs in it and shallots. It has acidity and sweetness to it.
And how do you come up with a meal like that? You know, you've got the 7 courses. When you're coming up with that, how do you go, all right, let's break it down. This is gonna be a good one.
Well, for me, I always think about customers. So the customers, you have to see the local products, the customers' taste, my taste, of course, because I want them to discover also my flavors. And I put all together. So the ingredients that I can find here, and automatically all the flavors that I have from France and also from the international, you know, because I travel a lot.
It's so
and then
amazing.
I do something that it goes very well together. Always try to find some textures, flavors, and goes together. The scallops goes very well because this is also sweet. The tomatoes brings the acidity. The artichokes is the same thing, but there's a balance into it.
So amazing. And again, aesthetically, it looks so good.
It's not finished.
Oh, so we're not even done yet.
Normally,
oh yeah, drizzle that.
I'm supposed to put a little bit of, you know, the nice drip.
Chef Isabel always knows
here.
what she's doing.
And then, of course, we want to put a little flowers here, you know. Always bring some colors to the dish.
See,
always
I was
nice.
of my standard where it already looked like an A+, and now it just keeps catapulting further and further.
Voila.
Wow, look at that. So delicious. And that's just one of the meals. What do we got over here? Chef numero 2.
Fantastic. I'm going to do a little plating segment for you because, you know, this is the canvas and this is what we teach in our classes as well. So we have a chicken ballantine that is filled with all these amazing truffles from Perica. We have fresh truffle all the way from Italy. We have confit truffle. We have a duxelle, and we have truffle salt, all incorporated into my dish today.
Amazing.
So classic, modern twist on a classic dish, chicken ballantine that has the truffle duxelle inside. We have beautiful, you know, colored teen carrots. You can see the layers in this beautiful dauphine gratin potato. Built with potatoes, cream, butter, all that goodness. Absolutely. Only a few delicious ingredients. So, and then finished with a sauce made from all the elements, from browning the chicken, cream, butter. We have Pernod in there as well. So all ingredients taken from the south of France.
Okay.
So we're trying to bring a little bit of you know, regional areas to all our dishes to cover Le Cordon Bleu, the 130th anniversary.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm going to take specific notes now on how you actually plate this
plating,
item.
yes. So always pick your plate. The plate is the canvas, right? So you're creating your artwork. Okay, and we're just going to build around. I always stay within the hands of the clock, is what I say.
Good to know.
Stay within the hands of the clock.
I've been known to color outside the lines
outside
as a kid.
the lines. Right, so just building up layers, yeah? Colors, layers, heights, contrast. Going to place the gratin right here. I did have a torch. I was going to set that on fire, but
we got the no-no.
Yeah, we got the no-no on that.
I tried. Yeah.
You did try. So I'm going to place some carrots here. These are really nice, like baby carrots, sweet, with a little touch of Canada in there, with some maple syrup glaze on top as well.
My goodness.
Rosemary from our garden as well, which is great. We have a lot of sustainable ingredients as well, so we like to incorporate that into our classes.
because that's
rosemary on
sauce
the
is
side.
a rosemary sauce.
Yes, the rosemary is the sauce. The sauce is the rosemary sauce. There we go. Too many.
This is the
the
flames.
Yeah.
As they come on, so just imagine
That's
the flame
right.
burning through.
So we're just gonna go right in the center. You don't always have to put that sauce on the plate. You know, keep that
I
little,
like it.
keep it contained,
Let's
keep
be
it
smart when
elegant.
we're dropping the sauce.
That's
you know?
right. Absolutely. There we go. Finished up there. And we have micro herbs also from the garden. So this is just a baby arugula. So micro herbs, once you go micro, it's very hard to go back to regular.
That's right.
So we're just gonna place these around. We have some Mizuna, we have some micro herbs, and finish up with a touch of our olive oil as well.
It is amazing too, like when you design it like that, just how much more appetizing it looks. But then also like you don't want to touch it because it's so beautiful.
Absolutely. So all the colors, all the heights, all the contrast on the plate, and that's our take on a classic dish, chicken Valentine.
So delicious.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now let's move to. We've had our 2 meals here, and you know, but got a little sweet too.
Yes.
What have we made here? Because this looks so good.
Okay, this is a charlotte. Charlotte with actually a pear mousse and a raspberry mousse inside. Okay, and then it's served with a little bowls, and we use actually the Parisienne spoon, and that's why we're making little bowls like this, and it's cooked in a syrup. Okay, so there's little pears in a syrup. Then you have a biscuit Savoie and a nice quenelle of whipped cream. Some coulis of raspberries around, and here we have a little ganache of dulce. Dulce is a chocolate caramel.
Okay.
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 And then we
Produced by
put
our
some
pastry
crispy raspberries in the same time. We have different like these textures.
I'm getting lost every time you're describing these because you just keep naming delicious ingredient after delicious
Lots of sugar,
ingredient.
lots of cream, lots
Yeah,
of
and
deliciousness.
of course, you have the chocolate, the little chocolate strips that gives a crunch to it, and goes always very, very well with the pear and the raspberry.
Amazing. Well, Chef Isabel and Atifa, we really appreciate your time this morning. Congratulations. 7-course meal, the collaboration. It's so exciting, and people definitely want to check it out. And thanks for making us all this delicious food for us to have this morning.
Absolutely. Enjoy.
It's great pleasure. Great pleasure.
If you would like to be featured on our daily dish, send us an idea. Although now you got some stiff competition looking at these bad boys. Ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. We got some food to eat. And don't worry, Melissa, I'll save you some.
I can't wait. Well, 67% of Canadian adults with autism are unemployed. And for those who are employed, the median annual income is under $3,000. To help bridge that gap, the 9th annual series of Spectrum Works Career Fair is weeks away. And joining us to tell us all about it and its impact is Neil Forrester. Good morning to you.
Thank you for having me.
So excited to have you here today. First of all, let's just talk a little bit about this initiative and why it is needed.
Well, I think you said it, right? There's a 67% unemployment rate. And for those that are employed, the average income for them is well below the standard average. And there's just a huge gap, and families are stuck. Individuals who want purpose and, who have a lot to offer are stuck at home for years, forgotten about. And so we're here to help champion this community.
And what can people expect from this job fair?
They can expect a lot. It's a career. We originally started this as a job fair, but we quickly learned and realized that this should be a career fair. There's entry-level jobs, there's temporary jobs, seasonal jobs, there's full-time jobs, and there's going to be careers, pathways for careers. A lot of the employers that have participated in the past 8 years and that are participating again this year are saying, listen, we're aware of the benefits of hiring autistic job seekers, and we have more than just entry-level jobs. So they'll have the opportunity to meet with employers from all levels, multiple industries. In addition to that, we will also have service providers that are there, because a lot of the families and individuals themselves aren't aware of all the service providers that are there to help to support them in their employment journey. So we partner with a lot of the service providers who will have a presence on site so these job seekers can meet them and even continue their journey after our event.
Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the autism employment inequalities that many are currently facing?
I mean, there's a lot. I think the biggest one, which is one of our pillars, is really the stigma around understanding what autism is and what it isn't. That's just the reality is this is a big educational piece. So being afforded the opportunity to speak on platforms like this really helps us get the word out. Autistic job seekers are very much discriminated against. It's very much a neurological disorder that affects their social skills. So working in a social setting sometimes may not be the most conducive for them when there's a lot of individuals around. So they need certain accommodations. Sometimes it's lower lighting, less noise, or they need to work a little bit more independently. But with those accommodations, what employers who have invested the time and efforts into providing these for job seekers have found that they have the longest retention rates when they hire autistic job seekers. They're the most efficient because they're not really involved in office politics or issues. They're hyper-focused on their work. And when they're given proper direction, they're not needed to be handheld as much because they really ask the questions or give the right direction. So there's a lot of these things that we're just trying to continue with the awareness and the education around it.
Thank you, Neil, so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And the 9th annual Spectrum Workers Virtual Career Fair is September 26th from noon until 5 p.m. Eastern, and you can head to their website as well for more information. Lots more to come here on the show as we take a look at your drive-in. Still no major issues east to west, just your regular volume right now on your Queensway. Good morning, Ottawa. It is 8:33. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Here's a look at your forecast over the next 12 hours and an absolutely gorgeous day ahead. The sun will continue to shine throughout the afternoon. 24 is the high for today. We'll feel closer to 26 with that humidex.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is urging municipalities to get rid of photo radar cameras altogether, saying they're nothing but a tax grab. Ford made the comments after 16 cameras in Toronto were cut down and damaged overnight. In that city, more than 800 speed cameras have been vandalized so far this year. Why don't we check in right now with Bill Carroll from the Morning Rush on News Talk 580 CFRA. Speed cameras, Bill, what are you thinking?
Well, I've always been against them, long before people started to cut them down. I just don't think they do the job they need to do, which is make the roads safer overall. The stat you're going to hear pushed around by people who like these cameras, members of city councils, is that if you look at an individual speed camera, a lot of people get caught early on, and then the number starts to go down. Well, yeah, when people figure out where they are, they go slower, or they have a little thing called Waze or other apps that identify where these cameras are. But we all see it around us. Cars go faster before they hit the community safety zones. They slow down, they go faster again afterwards. So I think there's a place for them in some limited areas where there really is a very specific zone that you want to slow down. But are we ticketing people after hours around schools when there aren't kids around? I mean, you got to ask yourself, how low are they going with this? What's the margin of error here? The Premier says people are getting tickets for 5 kilometers over, 10 kilometers over. I haven't met anyone who got one for less than 11 kilometers over, which maybe is how they've set them up here in Ottawa. They don't want to tell us that, of course, but they do tell you the camera is there, and that's the problem, right? You know the camera's there. You know they only take a photograph in one direction. I've always believed if you're going to have cameras, take a photo of the driver, match the driver with their driver's license, and give them demerit points and heavy fines. That's how you get unsafe drivers off the road. We had a member of City Council on our show earlier this week, Rosie, who was saying, you know, we got a huge problem with speeding in our community. It's stunt driving. Cars are driving very fast. They're racing each other. So that suggests to me maybe the Premier is right when he says overall safety has not been improved. We are too focused on getting as many of these cameras in as many places as we can because we're hungry for the revenue. We're getting hungrier for it because the revenue stream drops. It's also, and we need to talk about this, jamming up our court systems. If we want our justice of the peace spending more time considering keeping people locked up and not letting them out on bail, if we want to deal with violent crime, we can't have their hands tied in court all day with people. Go to the courthouse. I've been to the provincial court. Go there and watch the people lined up by the hundreds fighting these tickets, and there's no defense. Unless your car was stolen, they're going to say, do you own that car? There's a photo of the license plate. Well, I wasn't driving it that day. Doesn't matter who's driving it that day. You own it, you got to pay the fine. It's a waste of time and money on that end. And it also gives permission for people who can afford to drive as fast as they want. What's a small ticket if you can afford a Ferrari? Are you really going to slow down? Because there's no other consequence than a fine. We need to catch drivers, and we need to get them off the road. That's how you deal with community safety.
Yeah, demerit points. That is the key, Bill. I'm with you on that. Have a great show, Bill.
You too.
You can listen to The Morning Rush with Bill Carroll on News Talk 580 CFR8 weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
Ask the Expert is brought to you by O.J. Hollingsworth Accident and Injury Lawyers.
It is time for Ask the Expert with O.J. Hollingsworth. Today, Brenda Hollingsworth is taking your questions about e-scooters and injuries. And you can send them to us, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca, and we'll get those questions answered. We've got Brenda Hollingsworth right here with us now with some examples this morning. Good morning to you, Brenda.
Good morning.
You know, I remember when e-scooters came to the downtown core here in Ottawa a few years ago. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun, exciting, great way to get around, scoot around. But I know a lot of people didn't like it.
Right.
There were some issues here. So we're going to throw out some examples and we're going to go through them and you can give us your legal perspective on the situation. Why don't we do that, okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so why don't we take a look here. Now, you're on an e-scooter and you accidentally clip a pedestrian who falls and breaks her ankle. Could you be held responsible? And what insurance is available? Brenda.
Yeah, so absolutely, you're going to be responsible if you hurt someone on an e-scooter. It's just like a vehicle for that purpose. Relating to a pedestrian, you're going to be treated essentially like a vehicle, with one big exception. You don't have car insurance, right?
Yeah.
Your car insurance, even if you've got an extended policy, does not apply to you on an e-scooter. So if there are damages to be paid, it's very likely that you're going to be on the hook for them. Now, if you have homeowners insurance or if you have tenants insurance, they might respond because all of those policies have a negligence rider. So if somebody gets hurt and it's your fault because of your negligence, you might be able to go there. A lot of people are surprised, but if you get in trouble with your e-scooter, you're going to your home or tenant insurance first, and not your car insurance.
I did not know that.
People are surprised by that. If you're the injured pedestrian, if you were injured by a car, you would have accident benefits, right? No fault benefits that we all have.
Automatically kicks in, right?
Kicks
Okay.
in. E-scooter, no accident benefits. So there's no one paying for your physio or your loss of income or any of that unless the scooter rider has insurance or assets. So it's kind of the Wild West in that way. Scooters travel fast. They've got power. People are getting hurt. And there just isn't the kind of regulation that we need, the kind of control, insurance, etc. So it is I mean, it's new, it's developing, it'll probably come, or they'll go away when, you know, either they'll solve that problem or they won't last. But at the moment, it's pretty risky to be a pedestrian around those things.
Yeah, okay, so what is the legal definition of an e-scooter, one that has a motor on it that can travel at fairly high speeds?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. As soon as it's powered by something other than you, like, you know, the little scooters that our kids have that they
the
push
kick
with their
one.
foot. Yeah, kick scooters. We're not talking about those. We're talking about ones that have battery, or I think there's some gas-powered ones too, which aren't e-scooters, but they're motorized scooters. So that's what we're talking about. There are limits to where you can ride those things. Like, for example, if the road is higher than 50 kilometers an hour speed limit, you're not supposed to have a scooter on it. So the rental ones in the city shouldn't go on that. They should be blocked from going on that. But if you own one or you borrow one from a friend, like, don't be on the big 80 kilometer an hour roads. That is not allowed, and you're gonna die. Like, it's just not safe.
Okay, it's not safe at all. Listen, I want to ask you a couple more questions about the e-scooters that you can rent.
Yes.
And what your legal rights are there, and what the company's rights are.
Right.
I don't think I have enough time before the break, so let's get on the other side of the break, and then I'll hit you up with those questions plus a few more. Okay.
Yeah, sounds
Thank
good.
you so much. All right, we're talking with Brenda Hollingsworth from O.J. Hollingsworth. We're talking about e-scooters. Your rights as somebody riding an e-scooter or a pedestrian. If you have any questions for her, let us know. 613-789-6559, extension 2803, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca. We're taking your questions live. We'll be right back after this short break. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. You're watching CTV Morning Live.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford,
The #1 Ford EV dealer in Ontario.
I gotta tell you, it feels like I was just playing here yesterday. Growing up playing for the Raiders in Ottawa gives you more than just athletics and sport. It gives you such great perspective on how to help others while getting that feel for what it's like to be on a team. I'm a big believer in spreading positivity and love in every aspect of life, and I'm gonna do everything that I can to enforce that on anybody that watches.
Ottawa news, weather, traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live.
Ask the Expert is brought to you by O.J. Hollingsworth Accident and Injury Lawyers.
We're back with Ask the Expert and Brenda Hollingsworth. If you want to get in touch with Brenda or O.J. Hollingsworth, there's their information on the screen. You can reach them at info@ahinjurylaw.com, and their phone number's up there as well. We're going to continue this conversation with Brenda. And Brenda, like I said before the break here, I wanted to ask you about, you're on an e-scooter that you rented. Yeah. What's the responsibility of the company? Are you insured automatically when you rent an e-scooter, kind of like when you rent a car, you get that insurance?
Right. Well, you opt into the insurance, right? When you rent a car.
There's
no opting into insurance here. There is no product right now. Wow. So for those rentals, if there was a malfunction of the scooter and you could prove it, you could sue them for that. So for example, if the brakes didn't work. But one thing that we have seen is that when there's an accident, those things get scooped up by the company and taken to the warehouse. Like, there's no inspecting it. Nobody's doing a once over. By the time we get called, those scooters have been fixed, right? They do have GPS, so they know how fast you're going. And so sometimes it's scooterist error. Yes. You're just going too fast in an area. Maybe it's a hill, maybe it's a pothole-laden area. So I would not count on insurance from the company. Not to say we wouldn't try, but I wouldn't count on it.
Okay, we've got a second scenario for you. Here we go. You're on an e-scooter and you get doored by a parked car on the roadway. Can you get compensation, and from whom?
Right. So this is a scenario. There was actually something circulating on social media this week about this actually happening in Westboro recently. And my view is the driver is 100% at fault for that. Dooring is a scourge. Dooring is when you open the door into traffic and either a cyclist or a scooterist goes over your door and is typically injured quite seriously. Yeah. That flying, and you know, there was an incident where somebody flew into traffic and was killed about a decade ago here in Ottawa. So I would say definitely the driver would be responsible for that. And there, because there's a vehicle involved, the scooterist would be entitled to accident benefits and would be able to sue the driver and the driver's car insurance would respond. So just like a bicycle, just like a pedestrian, there the scenario would be really similar to a normal car accident because there's a motor vehicle involved.
Okay, you know, I find that the law lags behind with technology, with new things that come around. It's like the law's sitting there and going, oh, right, okay, e-scooters, okay, now you're renting them, okay, there's this app. Do you think that we're going to get that the law's going to catch up and you know, some, like e-scooter share? They're going to have to look into that and then establish new laws behind riding and conducting an e-scooter.
Well, the program in Ottawa is, or at least it has been a pilot project. It is something that they review every year. I think I've heard it's been extended to next year.
You are correct. It has been extended.
But they do collect data. They do look at the data, and hopefully they make some tweaks. I do know that the provincial government has been looking at least relating to e-bikes, and I believe also e-scooters, sort of whether or not there needs to be more regulation or insurance requirements, licensing requirements. So they're looking at it, but the legislative process is not fast, right? People are getting hurt now, and you know, in the future there will probably be something. I mean, right now, if somebody's on a scooter and they hit you and they leave, like there's no license plate you can get, like they're gone, right? So it is very, it's the Wild West right now.
It's the Wild West right now. And there's really nothing that you can, is there anything you can say if you are on an e-scooter is a way to protect yourself legally?
Well, have tenant insurance or home insurance.
Okay.
That at least you've got liability
There
insurance.
you go.
So I would say that's your main tool.
There you go. Brenda Hollingsworth from Auger Hollingsworth. Thank you so much for coming by and talking the ins and outs of e-scooter. Really appreciate that. And if you want to get in touch with Brenda at Auger Hollingsworth, you can send them an email, info@ahinjurylaw.com. And once again, thank you very much, Brenda Hollingsworth, for all your information. Melissa.
In our forecast this morning, lots of sunshine on the way over the next 12 hours. An absolutely glorious day ahead. 24 is the high. We'll feel closer to 26. So outdoor plans today. You definitely want to get outside and enjoy because this weather is just fantastic.
It's so nice, right? You've been crushing it all week because you get those little crisp mornings, the sunshine opens up, and then still staying in the 20s in the afternoon where you're never overheating, but you're never too cool either. It's that perfect blend.
Great for running outside, Rosie. We know you love to go for your afternoon run.
So much, so perfect and wonderful for layering, which I love. I am here for layering. Show a little fashion. Why not? Thank you so much for watching. That's all from us here at CTV Morning Live. Don't forget, you can watch any of our segments online. Just head to our website, ctvottawamorning.ca. Take good care. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.